in there, but I say most places starting dry. I've had a bit of a chilly start. Well, we've had clear skies through the night, but that does mean some spells of sunshine coming through and a mix of sun and cloud really through the day for most. A bit more showery rain crossing through central then eastern Scotland with some more rain coming into the northwest later on. The odd shower for Northern Ireland. It's a bit warmer than yesterday, particularly across the eastern side of England. You notice here temperatures a few degrees higher, but it has been pretty chilly, so we're only talking temperatures back closer to average. We'll see more showery rain coming in across the Highlands and the Western Isles through the afternoon. Always the potential for further showers too on the east coast of Scotland and through the central belt. And things turning a bit more showery this afternoon for Northern Ireland. For most of England and Wales, though, it's looking dry. The odd heavy shower possible over North Wales, perhaps even northwest England, but any showers elsewhere, say, very few and far between. And as I said, perhaps feeling a little bit warmer than it did yesterday. Temperatures will drop away overnight where we've got the clear skies, and we have more cloud coming into Scotland with further outbreaks of rain trickling in here. The odd shower again for Northern Ireland, North Wales, northwest England, but most of England and Wales having a dry night. Again, where we've got clear skies, temperatures will fall away, potentially not far off freezing to start Friday, but for many it will be quite a cloudy start, that cloud helping to keep the temperatures up. And then again tomorrow it'll be a largely dry, bright day, some sunny spells, but perhaps a greater chance of seeing some showers breaking out across the south as we go through Friday afternoon. Again, some outbreaks of rain across Scotland, but looking a bit drier in the far northwest as well. Looking a bit chillier here, though, only single digits elsewhere with some sunny spells, the mid to maybe even high teens.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you, Britain, for making GB News Radio such a huge success. Whether you're in the car, on the go, or listening at home, thank you for choosing us as your radio station.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. Delays are on the M4 westbound between junctions 26 and 28 due to congestion. The northbound A1 entry slip from the A256 in Newcastle upon Tyne is closed due to animals, expected to clear after 10:15 a.m. Nottinghamshire's A453 southbound faces heavy congestion. The A14 westbound entry slip near Bury St Edmunds is closed from a collision, expected to clear after 11:45 a.m. The A3M southbound in Hampshire reports a road collision causing 40-minute delays. And on the trains, Avanti West Coast and Transport for Wales report significant disruptions. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Bold.
They are under no illusion.
Ray.
Are you a human trafficker?
Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get us on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What we're going to do now is they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie's tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akweer, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I ever got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Good morning, it's 9:30 on Thursday the 7th of May, live across the UK, Britain's Newsroom with Andrew Pearce and Emily Carver. How nice.
Thank you for having me. The hantavirus outbreak continues. 2 British people on board the virus-hit cruise ship have been told to self-isolate after returning to the UK, as the boat is now en route to Tenerife.
Are they going to heal the rift? The US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, a Roman Catholic, is meeting Pope Leo at the Vatican this morning in time of this programme. Will it be awkward after Donald Trump called the pontiff weak and told him to keep out of politics?
I have nothing against the Pope. His brother's MAGA all the way. I like his brother. I have a right to disagree with the Pope.
They want to make a deal. We've had very good talks over the last 24 hours.
Well, the peace deal is on, off again. Could this finally be the time today it's reached, as Donald Trump says he's had very good talks with Iran?
And, of course, millions of Brits are heading to the polls today as the local election are underway. Don't forget to take photo ID.
Yes, absolutely. And breaking news this morning, oil giant Shell. Their profits have risen as the Iran war pushes oil prices higher and higher.
It's an honour to come back and to be able to salute these brave men that fought and gave their lives.
Don't you love those guys? British World War II heroes returning to Arnhem in Holland, honouring those who paid the ultimate price to free the Netherlands. We'll bring you that moving report.
And elsewhere for the royals, back on duty, the Princess of Wales is meeting with children undergoing brain research before she jets off for royal engagements in Italy next week.
Remember when they said they wanted some privacy? Well, Meghan Markle's posted...
That's a cute photo, Andrew.
Yeah.
That's a cute
Doesn't
one.
wash with me. Meghan Markle's posted never-seen-before pictures of Prince Archie to mark his 7th birthday. So much for their much-vaunted privacy.
Nice red hair, though.
Yeah.
And the Sunbed showdown. Yes, this is a bizarre one. A German man has won an £850 payout after he was unable to secure a sun lounger whilst on holiday in Greece. Usually it's the Germans who cause this trouble.
Maybe you have to sue the Germans. And has there been a nude peckers mix-up? Find out why a festival in Cumbria could have turned a rare bird hunt into an awkward, naked encounter. Oh, to be a fly on the wall in that private meeting between Marco Rubio, and the Pope this morning. It's happening around 10:30 because, as you know, Emily, Trump was incredibly rude about the Pope. Who, of course, is the first American Pope.
Absolutely. He's said that he's in cahoots, essentially, with the radical left. Said there's no respect there, so it seems. And Marco Rubio, as a Catholic himself, is going to have to be deferential while also putting up the American White House case.
Absolutely.
Awkward.
Awkward, yeah. But the Pope is a great diplomat, that's why he's the Pope. And Marco Rubio has got to be a good diplomat, that's why he's the Secretary of State. So
I think we've got to read out some of those tweets.
We will share what
Trump
Trump said about the Pope, so that's going to be fascinating. That's happening in our time this morning on Britain's Newsroom, so stay tuned for that. As ever, we'd like to know what you think. Send your views and post your comments by visiting gbnews.com/your say. But first, we're going to get the 60-second news update with Sam Francis.
Very good morning to you, 9:30. The headlines from the newsroom this morning. Voters are heading to the polls across Britain today in one of the biggest political tests of the year. Elections are taking place for councils and mayors in England, the Scottish Parliament and the Welsh Senedd. Results are expected to start coming in from the early hours of tomorrow morning and continue into Saturday evening. The UK Health Security Agency says the risk to the public from hantavirus remains very low. 2 British people were on board the outbreak-hit cruise ship. Well, they have now returned home. They have no symptoms but are self-isolating as a precaution. Donald Trump claims the war with Iran could be over quickly. Reports suggest the White House believes it may be close to agreeing a 14-point plan. Iran, though, has not yet responded to the latest American proposals. And the Iran war could, meanwhile, leave lasting damage to the UK economy and public finances, according to new research. Estimates from think tanks suggest a prolonged conflict could cost the Treasury up to £8 billion a year. A serving Metropolitan Police officer and 4 former officers are being investigated over the handling of sexual abuse reports involving Mohammed Al-Fayed. The police watchdog's looking at potential misconduct. The former owner of Harrods died in 2023, having never faced any charges. And GCSE and A-level exam season is getting underway. A-level and AS papers begin from Monday with major subjects including biology and English among the first. The main exam period runs until the 23rd of June. Well, those are the headlines for now. More news at 10 o'clock.
Tune in to GB News Radio wherever you are. Online, on DAB digital radio, on TuneIn, on Radio Player, on Nation Player and on your smart speaker. Just say, play GB News.
Well, hello, welcome. This is Britain's Newsroom with me, Emily Carver, and Andrew Pearce this morning.
How nice to see you, Emily. Have you been good?
I have been very well, yes, actually. Thanks for asking. Have you?
Good. Very well, very well.
I've been having a nice time.
How's the little one?
The little one is very cute, 8 months old already, would you believe?
Gosh, where's that gone?
I know, where has that time gone by? I'm coming back pretty much full-time very soon, actually.
Well, you'll be
so
very welcome.
look forward to that.
Well,
Reunited with Tom.
Absolutely, he'll be looking forward to that, I can assure you. Now, of course, it's local elections day. We don't talk about politics
yes,
because
we should
that's
tell
the law.
People
but
that.
just to remind you, if you are voting, and I think you should, take photo ID.
Yeah.
Very important. I voted my way to work this morning just after 7, and somebody was in a bit of a bust-up because they hadn't got any photo ID.
Oh, dear.
You get told...
I've lost my driving licence, so it's going to have to be the passport for me.
There we are. You can use your press pass.
OK.
Yeah.
Don't know where that is either.
Right. Now, 2 Brits are self-isolating in the UK after they were exposed to the hantavirus on the MV Hontius cruise ship.
Yeah, so far 5 cases of hantavirus have been confirmed by the World Health Organization.
It's now believed that a Dutch couple on that ship who visited a landfill site during a bird-watching tour in Argentina may be the source of the outbreak. That couple, in fact, died.
Goodness me, well, the ship is currently en route to the Canary Islands with plans to repatriate passengers showing no symptoms to their home countries. That could include 19 British passengers and 4 British crew members.
We're going to talk now to Dr. Martin Kritz, who's previously worked on this particular cruise ship. Good morning to you, Doctor.
Good morning.
Can you explain? People will be wondering what exactly happens when something like this happens. I know it's a rare occurrence, an outbreak like this of a lethal virus, but do you have an isolation unit on a ship like that? Is there a mortuary?
Well, you isolate people in the cabins.
Right.
And they have to stay there, and the crew bring the food and drinks and leave it outside the door of the cabins. No, we don't have a morgue, but we have a cold storage where you can put deceased people in body bags.
Gosh, OK. Martin, what's the team like in terms of medical staff? You, of course, have worked on this ship. Were you the only doctor? Are there any nurses about? Is there much in the way of facilities?
Well, no, you're alone. I mean, you don't have any nurses, any other doctors. It's a small ship. I mean, it's only 150 passengers, so you're on your own.
What happens then, Doctor, if the doctor gets infected?
Well, that happened, actually. So they evacuated the doctor, and then they are sending down 2 other doctors now from Holland.
OK, so they've done a bit of a switcheroo there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you isolate them in a cabin, Dr. Kritz. Is that sufficient, is it? Because the fear is this is passed on with human contact.
Yeah, well, that's the only way to do it, because, I mean, you don't have any other facilities where you can isolate them. The problem is when people travel in these 4-bed cabins, because then they are quite close to each other.
What's the worst kind of outbreak that you've personally had to deal with on this cruise ship or any other?
Yeah, well, I was on a cruise ship during COVID, so you can imagine.
Oh, my.
What was that like?
Yeah, well, we tested passengers every day, and then we isolated the whole crew, and we isolated passengers.
Gosh, that must have been lonely for people.
Yeah. And we
yes,
know...
it was.
Yeah.
And now there's a couple in Britain who came off the ship, I think, in St Helena and flew back via Johannesburg. They're isolating at home now in Britain, Doctor. That is just a routine, that is just a standard procedure to isolate for up to 2 months. They have no symptoms, but just in case.
Yes, I would say that's a standard routine. I mean, you have to isolate all the other passengers on the cruise ship as well when they repatriate.
And initially, there was resistance to allow that ship to dock in the Canary Islands. Why would that? What is that? Is that panic in your view by the authorities in the Canary Islands?
Well, it's slightly panic, but I can understand it. I can understand it because, I mean, you don't want to have the virus on Canary Islands. So it's understandable, but it's a little bit panic.
And just how bad is this virus? I mean, I assume most people won't have heard of it previously. Never heard of it. How bad is it?
Well, it's not that bad, but the problem is that these passengers on the cruise ship, they got the worst virus from the Hanta family because it's contagious between people.
And we talked to a doctor about this yesterday. Although we're discussing the ship because it's very visible and but this is a rare occurrence. Cruising is a pastime pursued by millions of people, particularly in Great Britain. We're a great cruising nation.
Yes.
It's pretty safe way to travel.
It is a safe way to travel, yes. I mean, normally nothing like that happens. This is the first time, so it's an extremely rare occasion.
And
except for COVID, of course.
Will you be working on any cruises in the near future?
I hope so.
So it's not putting you off?
Yeah, it's not putting you off.
No.
No, very good. All right, Doctor, that's Dr. Martin Cripps, who's previously worked on the MV Hondius cruise ship. I was on a cruise last year, on a Cunard cruise. I really loved it, actually.
Oh, yeah?
But you could get off a lot.
Getting old?
Yeah, well, I was talking about my book. So it's a great place to flog your book because there's a lot of people on board.
Oh, so would you, in the evening, have people come and see you? And...
Well, you talk... there was a talk in the theatre, which there was 950 people in the theatre.
Oh, my goodness.
So I talked about the book, so you flog a lot of books.
You must have felt very popular.
Ish.
In conversation with Andrew Pierce.
Yeah. No, it's fun. But it is a nice way to see the world because you can get on or get off. I mean, I didn't feel stir-crazy at all.
They're trying to, appeal to a younger audience.
They are.
The party cruises, where people in their 20s go and, get very drunk and dance and mingle and whatever else. Who knows what diseases would go around there?
Yeah, well, quite. Could you and Martin imagine cruising?
And Martin?
Martin, who's Martin?
Martin's not my husband.
Who is Martin? Where have I got
Martin
that name
Stormney.
from? I mean Patrick.
Patrick, would we consider it? I reckon he would,
Do you?
I'm not so sure. I haven't got very good sea legs. I get seasick.
Do you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that'd be...
I guess you can take pills for that, and someone like Dr. Martin would be able to help with that, at least.
Yeah, my partner takes pills for it.
Yeah, and it just fixes it.
Absolutely.
Well, there you go. Let us know if you're thinking about going on a cruise, and has this affected your feeling about it?
Yeah, and if you've been on this cruise ship in particular too, I wonder how much it costs. Some people on this cruise for 48 days. Now, that's 7 weeks.
That must be expensive.
It must be. It's a long time too.
Did you have one of those rooms with a nice balcony and a view over everything?
That was essential.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to be able to sit outside.
Yeah.
Didn't want to be stuck in.
The little hammock.
Also, where I could have my gin and tonic. Very important.
Very nice.
Now, still ahead.
Yes, the United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio is heading off to the Vatican after Donald Trump's put-down of the pontiff.
And up next, we've been treated to a few new photographs. And that woman, Meghan Markle, do you remember the one who went to America because she wanted to lead a private, ordinary life, celebrating Prince Archie's 7th birthday? 7 years. God, is it
7 years?
Hard to believe, isn't it?
Time flies, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
Shall we have a look at the holiday forecast?
Yes.
Can't wait to get in that sea.
Lovely and warm.
Just like the feeling of having great travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Sunny skies for Sicily on Friday. We're going to see some wet and windy weather heading through Madeira, and that rain will arrive in the Algarve on Friday night. Some wet weather also heading its way across mainland Greece, but most of the Greek islands dry and sunny on Friday. Sunny spells, as I said, for Sicily and Sardinia. Small chance of 1 or 2 showers here, and showery rain spreading into Spain and Portugal. You can see the swirl here, an area of low pressure bringing wet and windy weather to Madeira. That'll spread across Spain and Portugal for Saturday.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
I'm Michael Portillo. This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
I think it's true to say that probably more books have been written about Queen Elizabeth II than any other royal, probably more books than any other woman. And I think Hugo Vickers' latest book, 600 pages, which give us a very personal insight into her life. What is there left for Anna Key to tell us, do you think?
Well, I know it's true, but she's going to have the key to the archives. She's going to be able to go through personal letters and thousands of documents that none of us have been able to see. I mean, I know our esteemed colleague Robert Hardman, as well as Hugo, have had some access. And you would think, actually, I thought Robert's was the most authoritative biography there could be, but he didn't have complete access in the way that Anna will. I mean, I don't really envy her the job. I don't know if you do, but it's going to take years, isn't it?
It is. I mean, do we know, did the Queen keep a diary, rather like Queen Victoria did? But most of her papers were destroyed, weren't they? So, I mean, is there going to be a very personal record from the Queen herself that she'll have access to?
I suspect that she will remain in death almost as much of an enigma as she did in life. I understand she did keep a diary, I think pretty religiously, I think most days. But the word is that it was pretty anodyne. It was, you know, I met so-and-so, I did this, not her personal feelings about, I know, meeting President Trump or whatever. So I don't know if we're going to get any great insights. But there will be personal stuff and there will be fascination. I mean, she was just there, wasn't she, for all of us through all of our lives, and if there are any secrets, then we will want to know about them, and I'm sure Anna Key will find them.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Breaking news, live updates, stories that matter.
From the heart of the GB Newsroom to every corner of Britain, with our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
GB News bulletins are there to deliver the latest news that matters to you. Bulletins on GB News,
the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
What's the time? The time is 9:48.
In 17 seconds, so there you go.
And it's time for Emily to read the emails, because regular viewers of this programme will know I can't. I don't know how to.
I don't know if this is a bit cheeky, but Ian's got in touch. Ian. Andrew, do you enjoy cruising? Where do you enjoy it, Andrew? Hampstead Heath, question mark.
Oh, very cheeky. Very cheeky. Nah.
Bees said don't be vile, so there you go. It's caused her a rough...
It was a lovely cruise with Cunard, actually.
Yeah. And Irvin says I'd probably get seasick on the Woolwich Ferry. Well, I've never been on the Woolwich Ferry, so I wouldn't know.
You should do it.
There you go. I know that I had to get off a little speedboat after about half an hour because I was just throwing up
You really
offside.
don't like sea legs at all?
No, I don't like it at all. I mean, if it's very calm, then it's fine, you know?
Yeah.
But Anthony says, I love cruises. If you have a large liner, you don't feel seasick at all because they're so big, the waves even out, so you just glide the average.
You do, yeah. I mean, I wasn't... You're almost oblivious to the fact you're at sea till you go for the lovely walk on the deck. You can walk miles every day on the decks of some of these big ships. Fantastic. Get all your steps in.
Yeah, you can do... a lot of them have... I've seen ones which have, like, a track
Yeah.
And like massive pool, slides, all sorts. Of course, a water bar.
Yeah, lots of bars.
If you
That's
fancy
very
it.
important. Now, let's talk about that woman, Meghan Markle. She shared unseen photographs of Prince Archie to mark his 7th birthday. You must be thrilled.
Yeah, delighted, Andrew. This one's actually quite sweet. This is Prince Harry we're looking at with baby Archie on his chest with a little, blanket on him. And I will point out that a lot of men do these pictures now with their tops off. Oh. He's kept his top on.
Thank
so we
God.
can be thankful for that, Andrew.
Mercifully.
He's not that attention-seeking.
No, mercifully. He probably considered it.
And the Duchess of Sussex has shared a rare glimpse into her family life in California. They're becoming less rare, though. They're not really rare anymore, are they?
Because she's desperate to make some money because there's no more money to be made out of cashing in and exploiting and trading in on the royal family who are trashed from high to high heaven.
I wonder if there's a little bit of a rift there between Meghan and Harry on this whole issue. I imagine Meghan would show their faces if it were up to her. I reckon Harry, with all his anti-media stuff, probably is the one saying, no, we can't. So she's pushing a little closer, isn't she?
She certainly is. Well, let's talk to the royal commentator, Richard Palmer. Richard, here we go again. This Meghan Markle woman who cleared off to America so she could be an ordinary private citizen, yet again trying to monetise her royal connection, her son, who is a prince who's in line to the throne.
Yeah, 6th in line to the throne, but unlikely ever to undertake official duties on behalf of whichever monarch is on the throne by the time he reaches 18 or 20, into his 20s, I'd say. I think it does irritate many people that you don't see their... OK, you see Archie's face there when he's a tiny little baby, but in the last few years they've taken the view that they don't want to show their children's faces. Beatrice and Eugenie do it with their children as well, and I think the public get irritated by members of the royal family who want it always. I think the Duke and Duchess of Sussex would say that the reason they do it is that they are the most trolled couple in the world, and there are some sick people out there who, particularly now with AI, would make mischief with frontal pictures of their children, and I would say there's plenty of truth to that. There are people, actually quite cynical people, who make money out of doing YouTube channels suggesting that they're not really their children, and you see similar people. You see people making similar unfounded claims about the Wales children as well. So I think you can understand it up to a point, but it just seems weird that they want their children to be Prince and Princess HRHs, in line to the throne, have sort of kept open the possibility of them one day doing official royal duties, which, as I said, I don't think is going to happen. But then the public don't even see their children's faces.
Well, quite. Richard, how are they doing on the old business front? I'm just having a little browse of Meghan's as-ever sort of gift shop that she's got online, selling everything from candles to rosé wine and jams and spreads. Is that going great guns or less so? Any idea?
I think there've been ups and downs. I mean, I take a different view than I think a lot of royal reporters do in the national press at the moment. I think they're doing fine. I think they've got plenty of money, and to the chagrin of many monarchists, I think that they are sort of getting what they wanted, that sort of half in, half out, unofficially, way that the late Queen said they couldn't have. So I think the demise of their Netflix deal, while the deal has changed and is not as lucrative, they're still doing work with Netflix and other TV channels, TV streamers.
Yeah,
so,
the only one that was really successful was the one where they dished the dirt, wasn't it? And made all sorts of allegations. Richard, we're going to have to leave it there, but thank you very much, royal commentator Richard Palmer there.
Yeah. I can't stand them.
I know you can't. Well, they're becoming more irrelevant, aren't they? Still ahead. Ahead of V-Day tomorrow, GB News joined British World War II heroes who returned to Arnhem, honouring those who paid the ultimate sacrifice in the Netherlands. Do not miss it.
This is Britain's Newsroom, Britain's favourite morning show on GB News.
spells, with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Morning, welcome to your latest weather update from the Met Office here on GB News. Today, a bit of a cool start out there for many. Generally a fine day with quite a bit of cloud, but some sunny spells. There are a few showers around, particularly across parts of Scotland. 1 or 2 this morning in southwest Scotland, the odd one here and there, but I say most places starting dry. I've had a bit of a chilly start where we've had clear skies through the night, but that does mean some spells of sunshine coming through and a mix of sun and cloud really through the day for most. A bit more showery rain crossing through central, then eastern Scotland with some more rain coming into the northwest later on. The odd shower for Northern Ireland. It's a bit warmer than yesterday, particularly across the eastern side of England. You notice here temperatures a few degrees higher, but it has been pretty chilly, so we're only talking temperatures back closer to average. We'll see more showery rain coming in across the Highlands and the Western Isles through the afternoon. Always the potential for further showers too on the east coast of Scotland and through the central belt. And things turning a bit more showery this afternoon for Northern Ireland. For most of England and Wales, though, it's looking dry. The odd heavy shower possible over North Wales, perhaps even northwest England, but any showers elsewhere, say, very few and far between. And as I said, perhaps feeling a little bit warmer than it did yesterday. Temperatures will drop away overnight where we've got the clear skies, and we have more cloud coming into Scotland with further outbreaks of rain trickling in here. The odd shower again for Northern Ireland, North Wales, northwest England, but most of England and Wales having a dry night. Again, where we've got clear skies, temperatures will fall away, potentially not far off freezing to start Friday, but for many it will be quite a cloudy start, that cloud helping to keep the temperatures up. And then again tomorrow it'll be a largely dry, bright day, some sunny spells, but perhaps a greater chance of seeing some showers breaking out across the south as we go through Friday afternoon. Again, some outbreaks of rain across Scotland, but looking a bit drier in the far northwest as well. Looking a bit chillier here though, only single digits elsewhere with some sunny spells, the mid to maybe even high teens.
Expect warm spells, with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Thank you, Britain, for the thousands of you who are becoming friends of GB News each and every week.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. Delays are reported on A47 southbound between Nantgar and Corriton due to congestion. A1 northbound entry slip in Newcastle upon Tyne is closed due to animals. Normal conditions expected between 10:45 and 11 Sult. A14 westbound entry slip at junction 44 near Bury St Edmunds East is closed following a collision, expected to clear by 12:30. A serious crash on the A3M southbound at junction 5 has closed all lanes, causing 30-minute delays. And on the trains, there are major delays on Transport for Wales between Wolverhampton and Shrewsbury. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
There's a totally tax-free £76,543.21 in cash to be won. Cash to spend on anything you like. That's like having over £6,000 extra to spend each month for a whole year. You could spend it on a bucket list holiday, treats for all of the family, or just save it for a rainy day. For a chance to win, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB21 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 26th of June. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pooled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
Because
the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hello, it is now 10 o'clock on Thursday the 7th of May, live across the United Kingdom. This is Britain's Newsroom with Andrew Pearce and Emily Carver.
The hantavirus outbreak. 2 British people on board the virus-hit cruise ship have been told to self-isolate after they return to Britain. The ship is en route to Tenerife.
It is indeed. Elsewhere, the Vatican peace mission. Yes, the US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who is very much a Catholic himself, is set to meet Pope Leo this morning. And it may be a little awkward, a tad awkward, after Donald Trump called the pontiff weak and to stay out of politics.
I have nothing against the Pope. His brother's MAGA all the way. I like his brother. I have a right to disagree with the Pope.
They want to make a deal. We've had very good talks over the last 24 hours.
Well, that peace deal on, off. Could this finally be the time it's reached after Donald Trump says he's had very good talks with Iran?
He says that a lot, though, doesn't he?
He does.
Millions of Brits, of course, are heading to the polls today. The local elections are very much underway. Andrew wants to remind us all to bring our photo ID, don't you?
Absolutely. You must do that, otherwise they won't let you vote.
No, they won't.
And some important breaking news. This will upset Ed Miliband, the Energy Secretary, I'm sure. Oil giant Shell's profits have risen as the Iran war has pushed oil prices ever higher.
Yeah, it's an honour to come back and to be able to salute these brave men that fought and gave their lives.
Yes, British World War II heroes return to Arnhem, honouring those who paid the ultimate price to free the Netherlands. We're going to bring you that moving report.
And find out why a festival in Cumbria could have turned a rare bird hunt into an awkward, naked encounter. You must stay tuned for that. I'm looking forward to that report from the veterans.
Oh, I thought you were about to say the naturists.
No, not my style.
Nurture.
Not my style. Don't do bird watching. Don't do naked.
Well, maybe some of our viewers like a bit of that stuff.
Maybe they do.
Either the bird watching or the being naked.
Yeah. Tell us if you are. If you're a naturist, what's the attraction?
But yes, Donald Trump has accused Pope Leo of many things, including being pro-nuclear weapons, to which the Pope said, well, essentially accused him of being a liar.
Yeah, he did. It was extraordinary. I mean...
Not in so many words, though, sort of a roundabout.
We know Trump doesn't pull his punches, but the Pope is unflappable. He's the leader of, 1.3 billion followers around the world, first American Pope, and of course Trump even said the only reason he's in the Vatican is because of him.
Well, quite. How does Marco Rubio, as a practising Catholic, show deference to the Pope while also saying this is what we're doing when it comes to
he's going
Iran?
to be making the case that it is a just war, but we know the Pope's view is the war should end and it shouldn't restart. As ever, tell us what you think. Send your views, post your comments by visiting
gbnews.com/your say. Should we get to the news with Sam Francis?
Very good morning to you. Just after 10 o'clock, well, the top story this morning, voters are heading to the polls across Britain in a major set of elections for councils, mayors, the Scottish Parliament and the Welsh Senedd. In England, more than 5,000 council seats are being contested across 136 local authorities, along with 6 directly elected mayors. Scotland, meanwhile, is voting for Holyrood, with votes counted during the day tomorrow rather than overnight. And Wales is voting under a new Senedd system for the first time, with the Parliament expanding from 60 to 96 members. There are also voting pilots in some parts of England, including shopping centre polling and early in-person voting over the bank holiday weekend. Polls are set to close at 10 o'clock tonight, with results expected to come in from the early hours tomorrow and continue into the weekend. The UK Health Security Agency says the risk to the public from hantavirus remains at this stage very low. 2 British people who were on board the cruise ship at the centre of the outbreak have now returned home. They have no symptoms but are self-isolating as a precaution. More British nationals are expected to disembark when the MV Honduras docks in Tenerife. Officials say some passengers could then face a self-isolation period of up to 6 weeks. Donald Trump has claimed the war in Iran will be over quickly as hopes grow of a possible diplomatic breakthrough. Reports have suggested the White House believes it could be close to agreeing a 14-point plan aimed at ending the conflict. The president says most people understand his goal of stopping Tehran from developing nuclear weapons. But Iran has not yet responded to the latest American proposals. And key questions remain over nuclear enrichment, sanctions and the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. Well, the Iran war could leave lasting damage to the economy here at home and public finances, according to new research today. Estimates are suggesting a prolonged conflict in the Middle East could cost the Treasury up to £8 billion a year through higher debt payments and lower tax revenues. Modelling from the Institute for Public Policy Research suggests inflation could also peak at 5.8% in a worst-case scenario, while growth could fall to just 0.3%. The think tank is calling for targeted support from the government, including a temporary energy price cap and a 10p cut to fuel duty. A serving Metropolitan Police officer and 4 former Met officers are being investigated for potential misconduct. It relates to the way the force handled reports of sexual abuse involving Mohammed Al-Fayed, the former owner of Harrods. The police watchdog has been investigating the matter since January last year. The case raises fresh questions over whether opportunities were missed to properly examine allegations made against him. Al-Fayed died in 2023 but never faced any criminal charges. And GCSE and A-level exam season is getting underway for students across the country. The main A-level and AS exam period begins from Monday and runs through to the 23rd of June. Key subjects, including biology and English, are among the first papers to be sat. GCSE exams are also starting, with pupils facing several weeks of assessments. Schools and exam boards are urging students to check their individual timetables and plan revision carefully. Those are the latest headlines for now. I know Emily will certainly remember A-levels and GCSEs. I'm not so sure about Andrew, though.
They were O-levels, weren't they?
They were O-levels. They absolutely were O-levels. They were, absolutely. Did all right in a match. Not bad, anyway.
Well, yes, this is Britain's Newsroom, and we're live across the United Kingdom. Andrew Pearce and me, Emily Carver. Shall we get into our top story?
Yeah, because the US Secretary of State Marco Rubio is to meet Pope Leo XIV at the Vatican this morning in our programme time. Rubio wants to heal the rift between Trump and the Pope, who he called weak, and he also told him to effectively keep his nose out of politics.
Yeah, he said a lot more as well, which we'll get to. But let's take a listen to what the US President had to say about Pope Leo last month.
Pope Leo said things that are wrong. He was very much against what I'm doing with regard to Iran, and you cannot have a nuclear Iran. Pope Leo would not be happy with the end result. You have hundreds of millions of people dead, and it's not going to happen. So I can't. I think he's very weak on crime and other things. So I'm not. I mean, he went public. I'm just responding to Pope Leo.
Well, the pontiff refused to be drawn into debate, but made his thoughts on the US president clear. Let's have a listen.
I do not look at my role as being politician. I don't want to get into a debate with him. I don't think that the message of the gospel is meant to be abused in the way that some people are doing.
He says some people instead of who he's talking about. In another, he says, if anyone wants to criticise me for proclaiming the gospel, etc., etc.
Yeah.
That anyone being Donald Trump.
Donald Trump, of course. Well, let's talk to the US journalist Chapman Bell. What's going to happen here? Because Marco Rubio is not the only high-powered Roman Catholic in the Trump administration.
No, I mean, Marco Rubio and J.D. Vance both met with the Pope after he became Pope just over a year ago. And, you know, there was a lot of happiness, particularly for American Catholics. First American Pope ever, you know, something that they've been waiting thousands of years for. Now, you know, a headline I read interestingly earlier said, you know, with Rubio heading to Italy, with Meloni, Washington has leverage. With the Vatican, it has little more than diplomacy. And I was speaking to a contact who covers the Vatican in Italy earlier this morning, and it seems like the focus and what people are saying is this is a mending relations mission for Rubio with the Vatican, and also to a lesser degree, but incidentally with Meloni and Italy's refusal to be involved in Iran so far.
Because the president was he's not just irritated with Sir Keir Starmer, irritated with the Italian Prime Minister too, because she took the same view.
Yeah, and he's been irritated with everybody, but I think with the Pope, it's taken it to another level for many. There are polls that most Americans disapprove of his comments on the Pope, but even more so, those postings he had of depicting him as Jesus Christ, which he said he thought was a doctor. But, getting involved in religion is always a tricky game. They always say at the dinner table, don't talk about politics and don't talk about religion because, you don't want to offend.
When Tony Blair was in his pomp, he had a communications boss who was a thuggish guy called Alistair Campbell, who famously said, "We don't do God." That was his message to Blair, because Blair converted to Roman Catholicism almost the week after he left number 10. The Pope Benedict did the conversion. But do you think Trump's realised that that's backfired, the Christian Pope? Because what is there, 70-odd million Catholics in the United States?
Yes, well, he's...
Big electorate.
It is, and it's a big electorate that he could alienate, particularly with the midterm elections coming up, so maybe that is one of the reasons Marco Rubio is going to try to mend fences to a degree. I mean, Trump has said that Pope Leo is weak on crime and terrible on foreign policy. He also criticized him, saying, he wants, Iran to get a nuclear weapon, and I don't think that's very good, and it's endangering Catholics and many other people around the world. However, you were saying what the Pope said earlier about if someone wants to criticize me for proclaiming the gospel. He went on to say that the church has spoken out against nuclear weapons for many years, and there's absolutely no doubt about that. And interestingly, I kind of was curious. I went back in history to kind of see when the last warmongering pope was. And, you have to go back to 15th, 16th century, and, popes frequently used military force back then. It was a very different world. Julius II apparently was frequently seen wearing armor. But since then, it's been more of pacifism, more of peace. Pope John Paul, famous for solidarity during the whole Cold War. So, there's been criticism of any wars, particularly Gaza, Israel, amongst the popes calling for peace. So I think, to think that the Pope would somehow support a war is really not in line with what their teachings are.
So how will Marco Rubio play this then? As a practicing Catholic, he will be naturally deferential to the Pope. He'll need to be a sort of diplomatic repair guy, I suppose. But he'll also want to get across the White House position and make him more amenable to that.
Yeah.
How does it work? I know also they've been talking about how he's there to talk about religious freedom and other things like Cuba.
Yes, and he himself said he expected it to be a frank, discussion. And I think it will be to a degree, but to be critical of the Pope for calling for peace is kind of a non-starter in many ways. But, Pietro Parolin, who's the Vatican Secretary of State, he will also meet with. And he said, we'll listen to Rubio and, we'll talk about what's happened in coming days. And we, cannot avoid touching on these issues. And we will address many topics, not just Iran, but also Latin America. And he also says he imagines they'll talk about Cuba as well, something that is also very near and dear to Rubio. So,
they'll have a different view on that, won't they, as well?
They will.
Very much so.
Yeah.
They will, but he went on to say all the hottest issues will be discussed. But I think, this is something that probably on a professional and personal level, Rubio really wants to go and do and try to, smooth out this rift, because it has kind of grown and amplified over the course of a month or so.
To Rubio, the Pope is God's bishop on earth.
Well,
he is the direct link to the other side. So it's a hugely significant moment for him personally.
Yeah, and this will be, I think, the second time, at least publicly, he's met with them. However, Vance will not be with him this time, and he did meet with him previously, but he's also, J.D. Vance has mentioned something along the lines of criticizing the Pope's morality of war and stance on that. So, maybe that is why Rubio is going to be the #1 diplomat to try to heal this rift, or at least come to some kind of agreement where the war of words can stop.
Now, this is going to happen in our time.
It is around 10:30, we think. So that'll be fascinating.
Okay.
And this will be played big in the United States as well, I guess.
I imagine, obviously it's very early there, but I'm sure it's going to make a lot of headlines, particularly, along with the ongoing Strait of Hormuz situation and trying to, is that going to end soon enough so that we can start having flowing?
Will Trump keep quiet about the Pope today, to sort of leave things to Marco Rubio? Would he have the sense to do that?
I mean, I don't have a crystal ball for that. I mean, I would suspect it's going to be more of Rubio's day, but the president has never shied away from making a comment, or whether it's controversial or not.
He answers questions, doesn't he? When they're put to him. So if he is out and about with reporters, then he'll say.
That sounds really fascinating. Of course, we'll bring you that live as it happens when the US Secretary of State Marco Rubio meets Pope Leo XIV, the first, as you say, American Pope in history.
Yes.
I think he looks great, the new Pope, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm a fan.
You approve?
I do.
Very good.
Wasn't sure about the last one, but I like this one.
Let us know your thoughts at home.
Yep.
But it is time for the Great British Giveaway, your chance to win a spectacular summer with £76,543 and 21 pence. So there you go, in tax-free cash. Have a look at the details.
We're counting down to a spectacular summer. It's your chance to win £76,543 and 21 pence in totally tax-free cash. A lump sum that you could have in time to splash out with this summer. Imagine all the things you could do with that cash. Give the garden a glow up, max out on a new motor, or just make sure the coming year is your year. And because it's tax-free, you get to keep every single penny for a chance to win £76,543 and 21 pence in tax-free cash. Text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB21 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 26th of June. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pooled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Right, this is a bit of a silly one up next. The Sunbed showdown is what we're calling it. A German man has won £850 after he was unable to secure a sun lounger whilst on holiday in Greece.
Yeah, well, what's your experience of people hogging them while you're on holiday? And if they do, what's your solution? Let us know what you think.
I've got some stories myself. Maybe I'll share them. And we're also going to be going through the news with Carol Malone and Nigel Nelson. There they are. Hello. Hello. Wakey, wakey. That's Carol Malone and Nigel Nelson. This is Britain's Newsroom. Stick with us.
Do you trust what you're being told? Good. Neither do I.
Those are just facts.
I'm Alex Armstrong, and on my show, we'll expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
We can allow.
Stop.
You think we can allow?
Politics, policy, parliament. Nothing is off limits. No sugarcoating, no fear of offence, just the truth laid bare. Tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. for Alex Armstrong Tonight, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates, 5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5.
You got me. You got me good there.
Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah. Uncensored.
Very, very racy tonight on the unpredictable.
What did she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace
Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, though.
I'm so surprised.
honest. I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
No,
isn't it?
no,
Because the
because
failure is...
you're
the failure is...
deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Oh. Sorry, that was me talking to our panel. It's out of turn. I think I
wasn't
know the
listening.
rules. Live cameras. We are joined by the ever-noisy Carol Malone.
Oh, hello. You're the talking one.
And GB News' senior political commentator, Nigel Nelson, studio. We normally have a punch-up with you two over politics, because we don't do politics today because of the local election.
No, this is friendly day.
We're still going to have a punch-up.
We still want you to have a punch-up,
Yeah.
of course. So, Malone, tell us about these civil servants.
Do you know, this is unbelievable. There's been two stories this week. The Telegraph have broken the story, and it's a really good story. It's about how lots of civil servants are scamming the system. They're working from home, supposedly. Right. They're supposed to work from home 3 days a week. Many of them aren't. Many of them haven't been into the office 4 years, up to 6 years. And the ones that do say they're in the office, they drive into the nearby car park and they clock on. They clock on through their computers and then drive back home and sit at home for the rest of the day.
Through the Wi-Fi or something?
Through the Wi-Fi, that's what they do. The other thing they're doing, which is beyond bad, is that they can claim, they get something like 25 days off a year on holiday, but they can claim flexi time, which they do 2 days a month. But also what they do is, at the end of the day, they leave their computer on, walk away from it, they put a heavy object on the keyboard to make it look like there's someone working. It's a monitoring device. And then they can clock up another 2 hours of overtime. So these people who are being paid by the British taxpayer are actually robbing us blind. And it's just disgusting. I think HMRC might be the worst offender. Something like 4,500.
Well, that's why nobody answers the phone there, then.
That's exactly why. 4,500 of them haven't been in the office for 6 months. Between 200 and 300 haven't been in for the last year, and some of them years after that. It's just, we keep on being told, if they can do their work at home, it's absolutely fine. Well, they're not doing their work at home. They're scamming. This is robbing us.
They're cheating the system, Nigel. Are you shocked by this?
Well, yeah, but if they're abusing the system, then of course they should be disciplined
But they're
for
not,
it.
though, are they, probably?
Well, they are. Well, on the way.
It's almost impossible to sack someone in the civil service.
No, it's
so
not.
I've heard.
No. Look what's been happening recently. An awful lot of people have been
my sources say it's
sacked.
very difficult.
Well, it's a lot easier nowadays. It used to be difficult, but it's a much easier thing now. And there are redundancies along the way. 10,000 redundancies. Well, not really. You're still being sacked, aren't you? You're losing your job, however you actually look at it. But in this case, that certainly it's abuse. If you're logging in a car park to pretend you're at work and you're meant to be at work, surely that's a disciplinary matter.
Yes.
But if the argument is they shouldn't work from home, it depends on the job they do. So if you're processing driving licence applications, you can do it from a laptop at home. Hang on, Carol. You can do it from a laptop at home as well as you can do it from a computer in the office.
You still might not be clocking in the hours you say they are. This proves without doubt that they can't be trusted to work from home. This shows that they want to scam the system at every opportunity they can. They can't be trusted. And the truth of it is, most people would not probably do 8 hours a day at home because they'd get up, they'd do a bit of time. Oh, the other thing that they can claim overtime for, right? This will interest you, Emily. They can claim overtime for going to collect their kids from school That's counted as overtime, even though
no,
it's a working day.
No, hang on. Whoa.
What? They're paid that hour.
Yes.
They're putting it in. That doesn't mean it's actually allowed. They shouldn't be doing that. That's my point about abusing the system.
If you say to your line manager, I've done 45, 50 hours this week, how does he know that you haven't? If you're scamming the system, leaving your computer on.
You're absolutely right, but it's not allowed. It's not something the civil service allows, says, right, you can also have an hour to take and pick up your kids.
This has been exposed by a newspaper. Why does it take a newspaper to expose this? Why don't the civil service know what the civil servants are doing right under their noses?
I can't answer that question.
And why can't these civil servants apply just a tenth of the ingenuity they're using to scam the system
be running like a dream.
to run the civil service
We have
properly?
to actually accept that investigation is right and those figures are right. So we don't know that.
Oh, come on. You can't. This is what the left always do. The figures can't possibly be right
the
if
left
they're
always
slamming
do.
the civil service.
I didn't say that they couldn't be right. I said I was questioning them, which is a different thing.
This abuse has been going on since COVID, presumably.
Before that. I mean, long before COVID. The civil service, the blog has been...
Well, COVID changed everything, didn't it? I mean, because we all worked from home. I'd never worked from home before. And during COVID, I think I worked harder by working at home than I ever had in an office.
But maybe you're particularly disciplined, Nigel.
But it wasn't
a lot of people aren't very disciplined.
Yes.
And there will be people who have their kid running around, who have someone else working at their partner working at home, talking to them all the time.
That they fancy comes on, a little bit of a series they're watching, that comes on. They think, oh, I'll just go and meet the girls for coffee. It happened. You know, people do. It is people's natural instincts to cheat. You know, you talk about COVID. Yeah, we were working from COVID, but news doesn't stop. You still got to work. But in the civil service, it's been proved you could say, I did 10 hours today. No one can say anything.
But that's my point. If the system's being abused, that's what you should deal with, not the principle.
If you allow working from home, how can you deal with it?
Well, you have to rely, obviously, on your employer to be honest.
And they're not.
But if you can't monitor them, if you cannot monitor what people are doing, then obviously working from home doesn't work. So going back to my example of driving licenses, if you're meant to do 100 driving applications a day,
who sets that target?
Well, it doesn't matter.
Do you know that those targets exist?
If the target is there, it doesn't matter whether you do it at home.
You don't even know that the target exists. You're questioning this evidence.
No, I'm giving you an example. I'm giving you an example of if you have a target of work to be done and you do it from home and you do or the same amount of work from the office, that's identical.
Well, there is a bigger picture, isn't there? A lot of these jobs, these administrative jobs, are going to go to AI very soon, aren't they?
Hopefully they will, because actually the civil service in the past 10 years has expanded by 500,000.
Yeah.
It needs cutting, not expanding.
But also, I imagine a lot of these jobs are in London, and a lot of these civil servants who are working from home are claiming the London waiting allowance at huge cost to the taxpayer.
And living outside?
Yeah. That should be withheld, because that is really ripping off the taxpayer.
Well, it is. If they're not living in London, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, if they're not working in London, if they're not coming in on a tube or an expensive train, that's why they get the London waiting allowance. If they're working from home all the time, why are they still getting it?
I mean, certainly, private industry does that they have a graduated system where people are living. There's no reason why that can't happen. I mean, I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying that abuses must be dealt with.
Yeah, but they won't be.
But you're questioning the figures, which is your right to do. Should we move on to sunbeds and
we're going to... OK. Yeah, no, this is a fantastic...
You couldn't make this up, could you?
You could not make this up. This is the German, who are... They're renowned.
They are.
No
offence to the Germans watching.
Well, no, they agree with it. There was a survey done in Germany last year, and 71% accepted that they were known for this. And this guy went on holiday. He did a package deal with a tour company, and every day, no matter what time he got up in the morning to try and get a sunbed, they were all taken with towels. He even got up at 6 o'clock some morning to get a thing, and he couldn't get one. So he spent the first half hour of every day trying to get a sunbed. So
can you imagine him getting more and more angry?
Yeah.
He was contributing.
It ruined his holiday.
But he was getting up at 6 with the rest of them. The rest of them were obviously getting up at 5 to reserve the... Anyway, he decided...
That's no holiday.
He decided to sue the company because there's supposed to be a ban on doing that, and the tour company did not enforce the ban on putting the towels there. So he got, in the end, 850 quid, which is pretty good because his holiday only cost 1,500, so he actually got half.
Right.
He got half of his holiday back.
I mean, I was on holiday in Mallorca, and yeah, I remember looking out of the window and seeing that there were already towels on the beds at about 6 a.m.
Yes.
It's absolutely ridiculous. And then they sent little notes under people's doors saying, we would like to remind everyone of our policy, blah, 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 that you can't walk away, you have to sit on your towel, you can't walk away for longer than half an hour.
Did it change anything? I mean, the hotels have this policy, but every hotel I've ever been to abroad has always got towels on some beds with no people on them.
What would you do about it?
They roll them up again in a lot of places.
Yeah, I mean,
they'll take
there's
them
nothing
off,
you can
put
do
them back.
about it, short of having a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. I'd have a row.
Well, you have a row with that. Malone would have a row.
Have you had a row?
I tell you, Cara Malone could have a row in an empty room.
I could.
Yeah, well, exactly.
No, but the bottom line is, I have to admit, I have done it myself. I don't get up at 6 o'clock to do it. I get my husband to get up at 7, just to go and put one on.
The long-suffering Nina.
I've done that.
As long as we've got one, that's fine. I don't care. But I have done it, but I don't like it when people put a towel on at 8 o'clock in the morning and don't come back till 4 in the afternoon.
Yeah, that is
So if you sent your husband down to put the towel on at, say, 7 a.m, then what happens? So you get ready in a leisurely pace, have a bit of breakfast.
Yes, I can have my breakfast, that's exactly what
And then head to the pool at about, what, half 9?
I put my bag on it, and I put an open book on it, and I put a pair of sunglasses on it, so it makes it look like I've been there a while, even though I haven't.
You're as bad as the Germans.
Exactly, you're as bad as this German tourist.
No, but if someone took my towel off, I wouldn't actually complain, and my husband would.
But what nationality were the offenders?
Germans.
Were they?
Germans.
Oh, so the Germans sued the Germans?
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, this is ticking every cliched box, isn't it, really?
That's right, yeah.
Wonder why they are like that, the Germans. It's in their psyche.
They're just very efficient at things.
It seems to be everyone's like it. I mean, certainly, I've always seen, rows of sunbeds with towels on them, whatever nationality is there. Or maybe the Germans just led the way.
I always suspect when I get somewhere around the pool, I suspect where the sun's going to be 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. So I want to be facing it. I don't want to be away from it. I don't want to be under trees or anything. And then the afternoon, I can move me sunbed to go to a place where there's a bit of shade. So it's a tricky business.
It is.
Do you spend a whole day by the
No, not a whole day.
I'd be bored after 2 hours.
I've spent a whole day just sat by the pool.
Have you?
It's very nice.
I'd get so bored.
But that's the point, isn't it? Then you have the towel there. If you want to get up and go and do something, you do stick a book and a towel down so you can come back.
No,
that's a temporary thing, isn't it?
See, I wouldn't do that. If I was going off on a sightseeing thing...
Well, I don't mean sightseeing, but
is very selfish.
just going off for a swim or something like that.
No,
you come back to your sunbed.
I think a lot of people do it when they just pop into breakfast. Or pop in for a quick lunch or something.
Yeah, that's what I do.
And then they hope for the best. Yes. But yes, if someone moved it, you can't really complain, can you?
Well, fascinating.
Anyway, there you go, fascinating stuff and
really
insight.
Fascinating. And how do we not know that Cara Malone would be one of the worst offenders?
But listen, I'm quite liking not doing politics. It's good.
I know, it's quite fun, isn't it? A bit better for
the panel will be back,
pressure.
but here's your News Now update with our favourite newsreader. He wrote that in the script himself. Sam Francis.
Very good morning to you. Just after 10:30, the top story this hour. Voters are heading to the polls across Britain today in a major set of elections for councils, mayors, the Scottish Parliament and the Welsh Senedd. In England, more than 5,000 council seats are being contested across 136 local authorities, along with 6 directly elected mayors. In Scotland and Wales, voters are deciding who will govern their countries. Polls close at 10 o'clock tonight, with results expected to come in from the early hours and continue into the weekend. The Health Security Agency says the risk to the public from hantavirus remains very low. 2 British people who were on board the outbreak-hit cruise ship have now returned home. They have no symptoms but are self-isolating as a precaution. Donald Trump has claimed the war with Iran could be over quickly. Reports suggest the White House believes it may be close to agreeing a 14-point plan. Iran, though, has not yet responded to the latest American proposals. And that ongoing war with Iran could leave lasting damage to the UK economy and public finances, according to new research. Estimates suggest a prolonged conflict could cost the Treasury up to £8 billion a year. A serving Metropolitan Police officer and 4 other former officers are being investigated over the handling of sexual abuse reports involving Mohammed Al-Fayed. The police watchdog is looking at potential misconduct. The former owner of Harrods died in 2023 but did not face any charges. And GCSE and A-level exam season is getting underway. AS and A-level papers begin from Monday with major subjects, including biology and English among the first. The main exam period runs until the 23rd of June. Those are the latest headlines for now. I'll be back with you at 11.
Tune in to GB News Radio wherever you are. Online, on DAB digital radio, on TuneIn, on Radio Player, on Nation Player and on your smart speaker. Just say, play GB News.
Up next, ahead of VE Day tomorrow, GB News joined World War II veterans who paid tributes to the fallen in the Netherlands this week. It's a lovely, heartwarming story.
Yeah, it's an honour to come back and to be able to salute these brave men that fought and gave their lives.
Yeah, stay tuned for that. This is Britain's Newsroom on GB News.
Morning, welcome to your latest weather update from the Met Office here on GB News. Today, a bit of a cool start out there for many. Generally a fine day with quite a bit of cloud, but some sunny spells. There are a few showers around, particularly across parts of Scotland. 1 or 2 this morning in southwest Scotland, the odd one here and there, but I say most places starting dry. I've had a bit of a chilly start where we've had clear skies through the night, but that does mean some spells of sunshine coming through and a mix of sun and cloud really through the day for most. A bit more showery rain crossing through central, then eastern Scotland with some more rain coming into the northwest later on. The odd shower for Northern Ireland. It's a bit warmer than yesterday, particularly across the eastern side of England. You notice here temperatures a few degrees higher, but it has been pretty chilly, so we're only talking temperatures back closer to average. We'll see more showery rain coming in across the Highlands and the Western Isles through the afternoon. Always the potential for further showers too on the east coast of Scotland and through the central belt. And things turning a bit more showery this afternoon for Northern Ireland. For most of England and Wales, though, it's looking dry. The odd heavy shower possible over North Wales, perhaps even northwest England, but any showers elsewhere, say, very few and far between. And, as I said, perhaps feeling a little bit warmer than it did yesterday. Temperatures will drop away overnight where we've got the clear skies, and we have more cloud coming into Scotland with further outbreaks of rain trickling in here. The odd shower again for Northern Ireland, North Wales, northwest England, but most of England and Wales having a dry night. Again, where we've got clear skies, temperatures will fall away, potentially not far off freezing to start Friday, but for many it will be quite a cloudy start, that cloud helping to keep the temperatures up. And then again tomorrow it'll be a largely dry, bright day, some sunny spells, but perhaps a greater chance of seeing some showers breaking out across the south as we go through Friday afternoon. Again, some outbreaks of rain across Scotland, but looking a bit drier in the far northwest as well. Looking a bit chillier here, though, only single digits elsewhere with some sunny spells, the mid to maybe even high teens.
Thank you, Britain, for the thousands of you who are becoming friends of GB News every week.
You're not only watching and listening to our programmes, you're becoming part of them too.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The M73 Junction 2 off-slip is closed to all southbound traffic due to overnight planned maintenance. On the M58 eastbound between Junction 1 and Junction 3, lane closures remain in place with normal traffic expected by 11:19 this morning. Please note, the A3M southbound at Junction 5 is fully closed following a serious collision, causing delays of around half an hour. All lanes are affected. Additionally, train passengers face disruption with Avanti West Coast services between Wolverhampton and Stafford delayed, and major issues affecting cross-country routes across the south of England. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
It is now 10:37 and this is Britain's Newsroom. Someone's got in touch and said, why are we talking about towels and sunbeds instead of important political matters? Because it is local election day. There are elections being taken up and down the country.
Yeah. And the rule of the law of the land, Ofcom rules are broadcasters cannot talk about that. So that's why we are avoiding politics today. However, be assured we will be giving the story. The full works tomorrow. Our very own Tom Harwood will be on the case as the results start coming in the early hours.
He loves it.
He
lives
loves
for
it.
He lives for it.
He will be wearing his special political anorak, especially for the voting, as the votes are cast. Now, ahead of tomorrow's VE Day commemorations, British World War II veterans visited the Arnhem War graves in the Netherlands.
Yes, the cemetery is home to hundreds of British soldiers who lost their lives while fighting to free the Netherlands from Nazi occupation. Now, GB News was invited to join the veterans as they paid their respects to our fallen soldiers. Will Godley has more.
Retracing old steps. Paul Terry fought here in the Netherlands during World War II when he was just a teenager. Now, aged 100, he's returned to pay his respects to those he served alongside and to remember those who didn't make it back home.
I am one of the lucky ones, and it's an honour to come back and to be able to salute these brave men that fought and gave their lives. It gives me great pleasure and honour to be back amongst them, really does.
There are 1,625 British World War II soldiers buried here. Many of them died while fighting in Operation Market Garden, a crucial fight for the Bridge of Arnhem, just a few miles away from here, seen as a key route into Germany and crucial for defeating the Nazis.
Large parts of Holland greeted the Allied troops as the armies swept on, until the Epic of Arnhem.
It was a daring Allied offensive that took place just 3 months after D-Day. But Nazi resistance was stronger than expected, and the operation did not go to plan.
It was rather nasty, actually. We were told exactly what we were going to do, and evidently the information our people got was wrong. I got out of my trench, and within 2 minutes I was blown back into the trench by an 88 shell. I looked at him and I shouted out, "I've been hit, I've been hit." And I looked at my leg and there's a big hole in it. And I thought, God, look at all those bones all crushed in there. But it wasn't the bone, it was the barks of the tree. And it hadn't have been for the trees, I don't think I would have survived it. So I was very fortunate. God must have been with me.
The British World War II veterans are brought here by the taxi charity for military veterans. They've driven them here from England in black cabs.
It's important for remembrance and to learn the stories of the people, of the veterans that were there. It's a generation you're never going to see again, the people we owe so much to. So for me, just to bring them here is just a small way of saying thank you.
At the Airborne Division's own cemetery, Holland and Britain joined in a more personal tribute, visiting the resting places so long tended with loving care.
Remembrance events at the Arnhem War graves have taken place for the last 81 years. But for Jeff Roberts, this week's visit is especially emotional. His old best friend, Leonard Plummer, is buried here. They served alongside each other, and this visit gives him another chance to salute goodbye. Will Godley, GB News, Arnhem.
How lovely was that?
It's always moving, isn't it?
It really is.
100 years old. Well, shall we speak to the military historian, Dr. Robert Lyman, to look ahead to tomorrow? Robert, tell us, what can we expect to occur tomorrow to mark this important day?
Well, sadly not enough, because we're going to be focused on politics. But
yes.
Look, the 8th of May, VE Day, is everything we need to know about politics, because this was fighting fascism. It's interesting, Godley, your reporter was talking about the Nazis. Of course, we were fighting the Nazis, but we were fighting Germany. This was an existential battle between Britain and the Empire and its allies across the world, and Nazi Germany and its friends in Japan. And it was such a big thing. I think one of the things that worries me is how quickly we forget how existential, how enormous this was. This was not just soldiers fighting, this was everyone in the UK, everyone around the empire fighting for our freedom, for the destruction of Nazi Germany, and for a successful peace. And it's incredibly big. So what am I hoping for? I'm hoping for some great remembrance, some very good coverage. I'm hoping that young people will start plugging into how great their grandparents' generation was in rescuing us and standing up against Nazi tyranny. But we also need to remember, this is a really important thing about tomorrow. We need to remember it wasn't the end of the Second World War. The Second World War didn't end until the 15th of August when Japan surrendered. So we need to see this as the first step in a series of celebrations that we all are involved in. This isn't a political thing, one side against the other. This is the whole of the country getting together to say thank you to our grandparents, in particular great-grandparents, for rescuing us from the threat of Nazi tyranny and doing it sacrificially.
Robert, it was very depressing yesterday. We did the survey, the poll, which showed 2/3 of Generation Z, 14 to 29, didn't know what VE Day meant or had no comprehension of its significance, which tells you a lot about what's going on in our schools.
It does. I mean, in a way, I'm worried about it, but in another, I'm not. And children grow up and they mature and they pick things up as they get older. But I think this is a societal thing, not just about schools. This is about understanding not just what happened, but why it's important. People ask me regularly, when I talk the subject, when I write, they ask me why I focus so heavily on the Second World War. It's because it's the greatest war humankind has ever seen, and it was only yesterday in terms of human history. It's incredibly important what we were fighting against. This wasn't a fight for power, for empire. Well, it was partly, but it was primarily a fight between good and evil, and that's the really important thing that I hope we remember tomorrow. This wasn't just one country against another, or the East versus the West, or the Allies versus the Axis forces. This was good versus evil. Everything that we saw in Nazi Germany and also in Japan at the time represented evil against the things that we all hold dear. And these murderous regimes needed to be destroyed. And it's a little lesson for today that if we are really serious about ensuring a peace for the future, we need to make sure that murderous regimes who threaten our current peace aren't given the oxygen to continue. So this is one of the great failures of the period up to 1939. And because of those failures, the whole country had to go to war in a massive way. This isn't just the soldiers going off to fight. This is men, women, children, grandparents, everyone at home surviving the Blitz, fighting the war, contributing to the war effort. And I often remind people that, of course, in 1944 with D-Day, all those youngsters who were going off to fight in 1944 were in short trousers in 1939. This was the whole of the country, the whole of the empire pulling together in a fight for its life, which is why I always call it existential. This is why it's important that young people in school understand why, what we're celebrating. We are celebrating a dramatic victory here. And it's beholden on all of us, teachers and otherwise, to make sure that we don't forget.
Absolutely.
Quite right.
Dr. Robert Lyman, thank you very much indeed, military historian. Just listening to Robert there, I do think about, with changing demographics and changing ideological perspectives in this country, would we ever be able to have such a united country?
I know.
To fight off something like that?
Well, I think if you ask most young people, I fear, they would say, would they fight for king and country? The answer could possibly be no.
Yes, is this something that's just in the past now?
Yeah, I mean, would they have wanted to have fought for that war in Afghanistan and Iraq? Probably not.
Probably not.
A war we should probably never been involved in the first place.
Well, yes. Up next, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio has met the Pope in the Vatican. We're going to bring you the latest pictures in just a moment. How did that meeting go?
Yeah, and what will Donald Trump have to say about it? I imagine something.
He can't help himself, can he? But we're going to bring you the holiday weather forecast.
I forecast a perfect holiday in the sun.
Weather looking good then?
For sure, and no worries about our travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News travel destinations forecast.
Sunny skies for Sicily on Friday. We're going to see some wet and windy weather heading through Madeira, and that rain will arrive in the Algarve on Friday night. Some wet weather also heading its way across mainland Greece, but most of the Greek islands dry and sunny on Friday. Sunny spells, as I said, for Sicily and Sardinia. Small chance of 1 or 2 showers here, and showery rain spreading into Spain and Portugal. You can see the swirl here, an area of low pressure bringing wet and windy weather to Madeira. That'll spread across Spain and Portugal for Saturday.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News travel destinations forecast.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. you. That's right, on Fridays I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions, but every Friday night at 9 p.m. you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
About 15 years ago, when we really wanted to grow the women's game, we were keen to get the men's professional clubs to endorse having a woman's arm, which was great, and it worked. The problem we have now is we are still playing second fiddle and we're piggybacking on the man's game. We can't arrange our own sponsorship deals because they might interfere with those of the main club. We take second-rate time on the timing of the games because obviously the men's game gets first refusal. And let's not forget, when you get Manchester City or Arsenal and the big clubs playing at the main stadiums, they fill those stadiums. So it is time now that we got our own identity.
All right, Peter, I'll hand it over to you. What do you make of it all?
I think it's a feminist money pit with own goal written all over it. As you pointed out in the intro, this stadium's going to cost Brighton £80 million to build. Yet women's football doesn't even break even, let alone make a profit. So where is the money coming from? The male players are having to subsidise it. It's going to be a nightmare financially, but also in terms of consumer demand, there is none. If you look at the average attendance of Brighton women's team at the Super League, the average attendance per game was around 2,300 in a 6,000 capacity venue. So why on earth are they trying to build a venue that's going to see 10,000 people? This is wishful thinking, bordering on delusion.
Yeah, Janie, is it a feminist money pit? Is that what this is?
Absolutely not. You said earlier, Alex, about equality. This is equality at its best.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Well, we have breaking news to bring you. The US Secretary of State Marco Rubio has met the Pope in Rome.
And of course, this comes after Donald Trump's blistering attacks on the pontiff over his failure to back the Iran war. Well, the Pope, in fact, said he wanted the war to be over. We're seeing the latest pictures from the Vatican on screen now.
Yes, there we are, the motorcade. And Marco Rubio arriving to meet Pope Leo there.
Yeah, that's a cardinal. That won't
the
be
cardinal,
Pope.
sorry.
Pope Leo will be
terribly
in all
sorry.
white. That's
my
all right.
mistake.
The Pope Leo will be in all white, so that would be probably the Secretary of State, something like that.
Right,
or
OK.
a very senior cardinal within the Vatican operation, who will almost certainly be at the meeting with Marco Rubio.
But they have a lot to talk about.
They do.
And the question is whether Marco Rubio will diffuse tensions after...
I think he will. That's his job.
After Trump's blistering broadsides.
The Secretary of State is, after all, their foreign secretary. He's a diplomat. He's a Roman Catholic.
Absolutely. Well, joining us now is the co-host of Catholic Unscripted, Mark Lambert. Mark, thank you very much. A big day for the Secretary of State and Pope Leo, of course. How do you think it will all work out?
I think it will work out really well. I think Marco Rubio is probably the ideal emissary, to, being a Catholic himself. So I do think this will go really well. It does show that Washington obviously cares because they've sent Rubio. So they don't want to lose the votes of millions of Catholic voters, I suppose, do they? So I think it will be a positive meeting, definitely.
I mean, I suspect somebody would have said to the president, you do know there are 73 or 74 or even 77 million Roman Catholics in the United States, Mr. President. Perhaps best not to offend them by denouncing the Pope in such virulent terms.
Absolutely. And I think he has been courting them, hasn't he, in his political campaigns. Very much the case that he's been doing his best to sort of appeal to Catholics in the country. So it was a bit of a shock, I think, for everyone that he came out so vociferously. But it's very Trumpian, isn't it, I suppose?
Yeah.
Will Pope Leo bring up areas of contention, or that would be Marco Rubio's job?
I very much would have thought that I would imagine that behind the scenes there will be a lot more agreement than we've seen, with this. Obviously, there's a good deal of grandstanding from President Trump, and obviously his accusation about Leo wanting Iran to have nukes is just complete hyperbolic nonsense, isn't it? I think everyone realises that. And it's the job of the Pope to act as the moral conscience. We've seen that, particularly with the modern Pope standing up to geopolitical
Mark,
power.
I'm terribly sorry. We're going to have to leave it there. We've run out of time. Mark Lambert, thank you very much indeed.
Very good to talk to him. Up next, trains grind to a halt across southern England. We're going to tell you why. This is Britain's Newsroom.
Today, clouds overhead, total zen within. Boxed Solar sponsors the weather on GB News.
Morning, welcome to your latest weather update from the Met Office here on GB News. Today, a bit of a cool start out there for many. Generally a fine day with quite a bit of cloud, but some sunny spells. There are a few showers around, particularly across parts of Scotland. 1 or 2 this morning in southwest Scotland, the odd one here and there, but I say most places starting dry. I've had a bit of a chilly start where we've had clear skies through the night, but that does mean some spells of sunshine coming through and a mix of sun and cloud really through the day for most. A bit more showery rain crossing through central, then eastern Scotland, with some more rain coming into the northwest later on. The odd shower for Northern Ireland. It's a bit warmer than yesterday, particularly across the eastern side of England. You notice here temperatures a few degrees higher, but it has been pretty chilly, so we're only talking temperatures back closer to average. We'll see more showery rain coming in across the Highlands and the Western Isles through the afternoon. Always the potential for further showers too on the east coast of Scotland and through the central belt. And things turning a bit more showery this afternoon for Northern Ireland. For most of England and Wales, though, it's looking dry. The odd heavy shower possible over North Wales, perhaps even northwest England, but any showers elsewhere, say, very few and far between. And, as I said, perhaps feeling a little bit warmer than it did yesterday. Temperatures will drop away overnight where we've got the clear skies, and we have more cloud coming into Scotland with further outbreaks of rain trickling in here. The odd shower again for Northern Ireland, North Wales, northwest England, but most of England and Wales having a dry night. Again, where we've got clear skies, temperatures will fall away, potentially not far off freezing to start Friday, but for many it will be quite a cloudy start, that cloud helping to keep the temperatures up. And then again tomorrow it'll be a largely dry, bright day, some sunny spells, but perhaps a greater chance of seeing some showers breaking out across the south as we go through Friday afternoon. Again, some outbreaks of rain across Scotland, but looking a bit drier in the far northwest as well. Looking a bit chillier here, though, only single digits. Elsewhere with some sunny spells, the mid to maybe even high teens.
Today, clouds overhead, total zen within. Boxed Solar.
We're counting down to a spectacular summer. It's your chance to win £76,543 and 21 pence in totally tax-free cash. A lump sum that you could have in time to splash out with this summer. And because it's tax-free, you get to keep every single penny. For a chance to win, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB21 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 26th of June. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pooled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
Westminster, the ultimate clique. And you're fighting like rats in a sack. But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask. OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician. Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits. You have the power then.
Yeah, as I
And
say...
now you've lost it. That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless. But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show. Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Bold. They are under no illusion. Ray. Are you a human trafficker? Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get us on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What we're going to do now, they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel. As soon as it hits 11 and the headlines come in,
The Late Edition brings you the breaking news from all the front pages.
because the news is going to happen.
So get a head start today.
Patrick Christie's tonight, late edition.
Alex Armstrong tonight, Late Edition. From 11 o'clock every night.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
I've been in Westminster for a long time, but I know that though power may be here, its effect on people's lives is across the whole of the country. We may be where rules are made, but it's where they're implemented that matters. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for forthright and frank discussion on where Britain has come from, where it's going, and where it will end up. That's State of the Nation, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
It is 11 o'clock on Thursday, the 7th of May, live across the UK, Britain's Newsroom with Andrew Pearce and Emily Carver.
Yes, Vatican peace mission. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio has met Pope Leo in the Vatican this morning. Will he be the one to heal the rift between Trump and the pontiff?
And the hantavirus outbreak. 2 British people on board that virus-hit cruise ship have been told to self-isolate. They've returned to the UK. The ship is now en route to Tenerife.
They want to make a deal. We've had very good talks over the last 24 hours.
Yes, the peace deal is on, off again. Could it be on this time, finally? Donald Trump says he's had very good talks with Iran.
And millions of Brits are heading to the polls today as local elections are underway. And just to remind you, take some photo ID with you.
Yes, what can you bring? Passport,
driving licence, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, got to be able to see your face.
Yeah, it's an honour to come back and to be able to salute these brave men that fought and gave their lives.
Well, British World War II heroes return to Arnhem, honouring those who paid the ultimate price to free the Netherlands as we look ahead to V-Day, which is tomorrow.
Here we go again, that private couple, Meghan and Harry. Well, Meghan Markle posts never-before-seen pictures of Prince Archie to mark his 7th birthday.
And yes, this is a bizarre one. Nude peckers mix up. Yes, find out why a festival in Cumbria could have turned a rare bird hunt into an awkward naked encounter.
So you excited to see the photograph of little Archie?
Well, babies are always very cute.
Yeah.
And they've shown the baby's face,
Which
so
is
Archie's
unusual.
face as a baby, because I think the logic there is that at that age, a newborn just looks like a bit of a potato, right? You can't tell them apart.
They all look the same.
They've got their eyes closed.
Yeah.
But once they get to about, 6 months, you can start to discern their features.
Yeah, there we are. So that's Meghan Markle, being very private, releasing a picture of Prince Harry with his son.
You're savage towards her.
I can't stand her.
Yeah,
I think she's a fraud.
Fair enough.
And I think he's really, really ratted on his family in a terrible way, because that's how they monetised their incredible Hollywood lifestyle.
You haven't tried her marmalade, her rosé wine?
£9 a jar of
candle?
marmalade? No.
Little sprinkly bits?
No.
No? OK.
And the rosé, it'd be too sweet for me.
Well, it might be sweet, yeah. Is it a dry rosé? Let us know if you tried it.
Let's see if you can afford it.
Well, yeah, it's probably about 50 quid, isn't it?
Yes, it's ridiculously expensive.
Ridiculous.
Really is ridiculous. We're going to go to the headlines now with Sam Francis.
Andrew, Emily, thank you very much and good morning to you. Just gone 11 o'clock. Well, voters are heading to the polls across England today in what will be one of the biggest electoral tests of the year. Elections are taking place for more than 5,000 council seats and 6 directly elected mayors. Almost 25,000 candidates are standing across 136 English local authorities. Polls will close at 10 o'clock tonight, but not all counts will begin straight away. Results are expected to start coming in from the early hours of tomorrow morning and then continue into the weekend. Wales is also voting today under the biggest change to the Senate since it was created. The number of members is increasing from 60 to 96. Instead of the previous mix of local constituency and regional members, Wales is now split into 16 larger constituencies. Each one will elect 6 members. The change follows reforms agreed after the number of Welsh Westminster seats was reduced. Supporters say the new system gives the Senedd more capacity, while critics have questioned the scale of the expansion. And Scotland is heading to the polls today too for a new Holyrood election. Unlike traditional overnight counts, though, votes will be counted during the day tomorrow. Election officials say the change will reduce costs and increase public engagement. It follows a daytime count, last Scottish Parliament elections, which was held under COVID restrictions. The elections also mark the end of Nicola Sturgeon's time as MSP after she confirmed she will not be seeking re-election. Away from the elections across Britain, the UK Health Security Agency has said the risk to the public from hantavirus remains very low at this stage. 2 British people who were on board the cruise ship at the centre of the outbreak have now returned home. They have no symptoms but are self-isolating as a precaution. More British nationals are expected to disembark when MV Honduis docks in Tenerife in the coming days. Officials say some passengers could then face a self-isolation period of up to 6 weeks. Donald Trump claims the war with Iran could be over quickly as hopes grow of a possible diplomatic breakthrough. Reports have suggested that the White House believes it could be close to agreeing a 14-point plan aimed at ending the conflict. The president says most people understand his goal of stopping Tehran from developing nuclear weapons, but Iran has not yet responded to the latest American proposals. Key questions remain too over nuclear enrichment, sanctions, and the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. And that ongoing war could leave lasting damage to the economy here at home and public finances, according to new research today. Estimates suggest a prolonged conflict in the Middle East could cost the Treasury up to £8 billion a year through higher debt payments and lower tax revenues. Modelling from the Institute for Public Policy Research suggests inflation could peak at 5.8% in a worst-case scenario, while growth could fall to 0.3%. The think tank is calling for targeted support from the government, including temporary energy price caps and a 10p cut to fuel duty. It says acting now could help avoid deeper economic damage later. A serving Metropolitan Police officer and 4 former Met officers are being investigated for potential misconduct. It relates to the way the force handled reports of sexual abuse involving Mohammed Al-Fayed, the former owner of Harrods. Police Watchdog has been investigating the matter since January last year. The case raises fresh questions over whether opportunities were missed to properly examine allegations made against him. Al-Fayed died in 2023, having never faced any criminal charges. And GCSE and A-level exam season is getting underway for students across the country. The main A-level and AS exam period begins from Monday and runs through to the 23rd of June. Key subjects, including biology and English, are among the first papers. GCSE exams are also starting, with pupils facing several weeks of assessments. Schools and exam boards are urging students to check their individual timetables and plan revision very carefully. Those are the latest headlines for now. More in around half an hour's time. Next, though, a look at the markets.
Taking the ups and downs in our stride. Stilts Home Lifts sponsors the GB News Finance Report.
Fast approaching 8 minutes past 11. The markets for you. The pound will buy you $1.3620 and 1.1570 euros. The price of gold is £3,473, that's per ounce. And the FTSE 100 is at 10,371 points.
GB News Finance Report, brought to you by Stilts Home Lifts.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
It's 11:08. This is Britain's Newsroom. You're live with Andrew Pearce and me, Emily Carver. Lots of people saying that they're with you, Andrew, on the old Meghan and her photos.
Yeah, come on, give it a break. Just, you can't have it both ways. What was it the late Queen said? You can't be half in and half out. Make your mind up.
Cindy has a theory that this all stems from what Catherine and William are up to. Cindy says, I can imagine a huge hissy fit after seeing Princess Charlotte's birthday photos.
Yeah.
They had to show their own.
And then, of course, we've got the Princess of Wales doing her own solo event next week.
Of course.
The first time since cancer, a first solo event abroad, going to Italy. Will we see another broadside from Montecito?
We may well. The timing does sometimes seem sus, doesn't it?
It does.
Cito says, Gen Z, we were talking about VE Day, which is tomorrow, and how a lot of young people don't have a clue what it is.
So bad.
Or why it's even important, possibly even frown upon it. But Cito says, Gen Z are only interested in the rubbish they see each week on soaps, EastEnders, Corrie, Emmerdale. To be honest, I'm not sure Gen Z watch any of that.
No.
They're on TikTok.
Yeah.
Like you are.
I am on TikTok.
You're very popular on TikTok. Check them out.
I have to have a bit of help to do it.
I was on TikTok, but I stopped. So maybe I'll come back with a vengeance.
Why did you stop? Were you getting too much abuse?
No, I just went off on,
All right.
maternity leave.
You had a
And I
baby.
thought,
You had more important things
I
to
had
do.
more important things to do, like keeping a child alive.
Exactly.
And some people are worried that people are looking to the Pope too much for moral clarity. There's a lot of pro-Trump in our inbox.
Right.
Leslie says, why does anyone need someone else to be their moral compass? With all due respect, the Pope is a man like all others. Yes, but millions, billions even of people do. And that's the point. You can't, as the President of the United States, be seen to massively insult such a spiritual leader, perhaps. I don't know.
He's God's vicar on earth. And in that breaking news, we know now that Marco Rubio, the US Secretary of State, is meeting the Pope, as we speak, in the Vatican.
Yes, it comes following Donald Trump's blistering attacks on the pontiff over failing to back the Iran war.
Well, let's talk to US political commentator Jennifer Ewing. It does feel, Jennifer, morning to you, lovely to see you, that Marco Rubio, diplomat-in-chief for the Trump administration, been sent to the Vatican to build some bridges, do you think? Repair some bridges?
Perhaps. First of all, it was a pre-planned trip. This is about the one-year anniversary when Pope Leo became the Pope. Second of all, it's a great time of year to visit the Vatican. I was there 2 weeks ago. I did not see the Pope, but it's a beautiful time of year. But no, on a more serious note, I think while they're saying he does not want to get into a lot of the more politically charged issues, what he does want to talk about, Marco Rubio has said, is both humanitarian aid in relation to Cuba, and then the second thing is the Pope has just returned from Africa, and he wants to talk about Christianity in Africa and some of the things going on there. The important thing to remember with this back and forth and the Pope being accused of being political is this is nothing new. Pope John Paul II, for example, while very much on the side of President Reagan against communism, then when it was George W. Bush, the Pope was very outspoken against the Iraq War, and he was very outspoken against stem cell research and this sort of thing. So the Pope being against the Iran war should not surprise anyone.
No.
He says he speaks the gospel. He's a man of peace, obviously. The interesting things that people in America are reading into is a few people, this is the first American Pope, as you'll be aware, and he was invited to join some of the celebrations for our 250th anniversary, which will take place on July 4th this summer. And he did, if you want to call it snub or turn down or decline, an invitation to visit the United States during that time. He instead will be, and again, people reading political messages into this, in an Italian island, I'm going to mispronounce it, Lampedusa, which is famous for, I think, welcoming migrants from Africa. So some people are, are reading political messages into that. The previous Pope, Pope Francis, very outspoken about being against the Republicans' view on stricter illegal immigration and climate change. So there's a lot going on.
That's very interesting, because Lampedusa was, of course, where thousands, if not tens of thousands of illegal migrants, asylum seekers were for a while. I think they managed to move things on a bit, didn't they?
But you're right, it is a real flashpoint in the migrant world. So that is and it cannot be a coincidence that the Pope is going at that time.
I don't think so, right? There are no conspiracies, but there are no coincidences. The other thing, and this is getting really deep in the weeds for Catholics that are paying attention to the Pope, is the Pope just... I guess there's a new bishop in West Virginia, which is, that's a very red state, right? Like overwhelmingly voted for Trump. And he himself is the bishop is a former illegal immigrant. So I think that while any Catholic understands that the Pope's job is to be part of peace, and popes in the past have been very against war, it's more on some of these immigration issues that they feel perhaps he's overstepping.
And has he become a bishop under this Pope?
Yeah. Yes.
Very interesting.
Yes.
That is interesting, yes. And so Marco Rubio is the man meeting the Pope today, a practising Catholic himself, of course. Where will Trump be in all of this? Will he be keeping quiet today? Will people be trying to get a view from him that might stir things up? Or will this be Marco Rubio's big day?
Yeah, that's a great question, Emily. And I think while political issues with popes and U.S. administrations or other countries' administrations are not new, what is new, and whether you want to call it social media or the Trump effect, is a president kind of fighting back in a bombastic way in which I believe President Trump recently called the Pope weak. And, so...
He said a lot, yes.
He said a lot of things. So
nuclear bombs.
Absolutely, people will be looking for some sort of reaction. I hope that whoever advised the president on his visit, with King Charles, where he was, I think most people can agree, hardly went off script and was very, very well... Right? Let's hope that advisor is in his ear today and that we don't have any slamming of the Pope.
But we know that Donald Trump will answer any question put to him by
yes, he will.
And if he's caught on the hoof or...
Yeah. And interesting as well, Jennifer, that J.D. Vance, the Vice President, is also a senior practising Roman Catholic.
Yes, he is, Andrew, and he was actually a Catholic convert, right? So we have cradle Catholics like myself, which means you're born Catholic, and then you see a lot of conversions. I've even seen some in this country, adults who either have fallen away from the Church of England and are looking for something a little more traditional, like Catholicism. But it's important to remember that and this is a conservative estimate, 20% of Americans self-identify as Catholics. So that's a very, very large number. And a lot of young people these days, especially you talk to people who have kids in their 20s, a lot of conversions, a lot of going back to this wonderful, traditional Latin Mass, the theory being if you're going to do religion, do it in a traditional way.
Here as well,
there's been a big revival here as well, which I think is great.
Moving away from the Church of England.
I think it's great. Church of England is a tired old institution which managed for 15 months without an Archbishop of Canterbury. Why did they bother replacing him?
Well...
The Pope died, a new one was there in 9 days.
Yeah.
They get on with it.
Exactly, with the smoke show.
The one true faith.
Jennifer Ewing, US political commentator, thank you very much.
Now we've got some breaking news. Hantavirus has reached Singapore with 2 people suspected of having the deadly disease currently isolating while being tested by doctors. We'll bring you the latest on GB News throughout the day.
But moving on, there's some more breaking news for you. Passengers across southern England are facing major travel disruption today due to an issue with radio communications.
South Western Railway, Southern, Thameslink, Cross Country, Gatwick Express and London Overground services are all impacted.
Oh, my goodness. Simon Calder, travel journalist, is with us to explain this all. What does this mean? Radio communications down. What's happened?
The root cause of this is that there is a radio communication system that allows the driver to communicate with signallers. Of course, there are signals on the track, the familiar traffic light signals. But in addition to that, they need to be able to communicate with the controllers, with the signallers. And that went out just about 9 o'clock this morning. So quite a lot of people will just about made it to work, but the whole lot behind them have been having a miserable time. And let me just visualize for you where it is. So it's basically the lines south and southwest of London, but going as far east as Sevenoaks in Kent, down to the south coast, and then going west across as far as the line from Waterloo to Portsmouth Harbour, and thousands of passengers are in various states of disarray, because bear in mind that this has hit the busiest rail franchise in the UK, GTR, which includes the Gatwick Express, Thameslink, Southern, and all of those trains have been all over the place. Crucially, it also affects people using the second busiest airport in the country, which is Gatwick, and many people will travel to and from there. It's been shocking, planes leaving people behind because they simply couldn't get there.
And Simon, do we have any ETA when they're going to fix this problem?
Well, according to the to National Rail, it has now been fixed. So you might be thinking, great, we're all back to normal. But of course, you have trains, you have passengers, you have drivers, you have guards, all of them stranded out of position. And so I would imagine that we are looking at certain tonight being affected by this.
Well, thank you, Simon. I hope things get back to normal as soon as possible, whatever that normal is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Simon Corder, thank you. So the last time I flew into London was to Luton. Get out, thinking I'm going to get the Luton Express or whatever it's called, rail replacement service via Harpenden into London. Last time I came into Heathrow, I wanted to take the Heathrow Express, wasn't working.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bit depressing. You're thinking as tourists coming in, thinking, does anything work in this country?
I thought
it's a bit embarrassing, isn't it?
I thought all the trains were going to start working when they got rid of the last lot.
Well, clearly not.
Time for our brand new Great British Giveaway. Your chance to have a spectacular summer with no less than £76,543.21 in tax-free cash. Here's how you do it.
We're counting down to a spectacular summer. It's your chance to win £76,543.21 in totally tax-free cash. A lump sum that you could have in time to splash out with this summer. Imagine all the things you could do with that cash. Give the garden a glow up, max out on a new motor, or just make sure the coming year is your year. And because it's tax-free, you get to keep every single penny for a chance to win £76,543.21 in tax-free cash. Text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB21 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 26th of June. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pulled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Up next.
This is a bit depressing, this.
Yeah. 1 in 3 people say money is the only thing from stopping them ending their marriage. That's why we're going to have a very interesting conversation with Carol Malone about that.
We are, and there's also some big news from Australia with regards to ISIS brides.
Yes.
There you go, Nigel and Carol Malone. No divorces there.
Harmonious TV hubby and wife.
That's what they call them.
And we're going to tell you why we could have a debate about whether Shamima Begum, you know who she is, the ISIS bride, could she be coming back to Britain? I certainly hope not. This is Britain's Newsroom on GB News.
the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it? Because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
From court mornings
to warm family brunches,
from football to tennis in the car,
in the kitchen.
GB News Breakfast is there with the stories you need and the conversations that matter.
Anyway, let's talk business.
Well, it has been a historic night in British politics.
It's astonishing, isn't it?
We're here again to start your day just right. GB News Breakfast.
Every morning from 6 a.m.
Only on GB News.
Britain's news channel.
Well, it's that time of the morning where we see Carol Malone and Nigel Nelson again in the studio to go through some of the news. Shall we head to Australia?
Yes, because some of the IS brides have been allowed to return to Australia, including some of the women in the same camp as Shamima Begum. Does that mean she could be coming back, Malone? And if so, what do you think?
I really hope not, and I think that a majority of people in this country, not Nigel obviously, but a majority of people in this country will not want her back here. You know, the security services have said time and time again that ISIS brides are a danger, even now, even long after, because people like Begum are living, I think she's in the Al Roj camp, she's in one of the two big Syrian camps, and all of those camps have been infiltrated by ISIS. So the people in those camps, if they weren't brainwashed before, they're being brainwashed now. Kids are being brainwashed. They're being taught to fire guns by ISIS. There's men and women are breeding out there. So they're breeding ISIS little people. So the idea that this woman is now ready to be integrated back into British society. Sajid Javid said when he was Home Secretary, when he took away her citizenship and people were kicking up, he said, if you knew what I knew, you wouldn't want her back in this country. He had seen reports from intelligence services in America which said exactly what she was about. And let's not forget, this is the woman who swept up severed heads. This is the woman who patrolled the streets with a Kalashnikov across her thing. She was part of the police force there. This is the woman who sewed people into suicide jackets. She did. Let's not forget everything that she did. And the idea that she's been in this camp with ISIS people since then, the idea that she's ready to settle back into British society.
She had a rebrand, though, didn't she? She switched the burqa for a baseball cap and Western clothing. But in Australia, what they're doing is they're welcoming back a dozen ISIS brides and their children.
Left-wing Prime Minister.
But the Australian Federal Police have confirmed that a number of the women will be arrested and charged once they touch down in Oz. And that's, for you, what makes this okay?
I mean, yes, it does, because I think that in the event you have evidence that Shamima Begum committed a number of crimes, she ought to be arrested in this country and face trial here. She shouldn't have had her citizenship taken away in the first place.
Yes.
She's our responsibility.
No, she's not stateless. She had a Bangladeshi passport.
She didn't. That's
yes, she did.
No,
I'm sorry, it's been proved in the court of appeal.
No, it has not.
Yes, let me tell you exactly.
Explain to you.
The Special Immigration Appeal Commission.
Let me explain to you. She had parents who were Bangladeshi, and what Sajid Javid argued at the time was that she was entitled to Bangladeshi citizenship through her parents. She didn't hold a Bangladeshi passport. Bangladesh said they didn't want her, which we understand. When she turned 21, none of this applied.
The Special Immigration Appeals Commission decreed that she could have gone to Bangladesh. The point is, Bangladesh don't want her. This
she couldn't have gone there.
Body came way after Sajid Javid.
But let's come back. If she comes back in here and then she's arrested and she's charged, where's she going to go? Is she going to be held on remand?
Of course not.
Is she going to be in custody?
No.
If she's in custody, if she's in a jail, is she going to be radicalising other people in the jail, spreading a vicious...
Well, but you have that problem with any terrorist you put in jail.
No, that's when keep her where she is. Let's not risk it.
Don't
And
let her
Nigel,
back.
would you want this woman living in your street?
Don't we need to be a bit more selfish, Nigel?
Actually, yes.
Would you really?
I would
discuss this with your wife?
Yeah. First of all,
I don't believe you, Nigel.
She's so well known that I don't think that she would pose a danger should she be released.
Nigel.
The longer you leave these people in Syria, and for all the reasons that Carol just said, they will get further radicalised, and they're
Let her be radicalised over there. Do not inflict her on this country. Our secret services have enough problems now monitoring the Islamic threat already. They do not need another one.
Yeah, but my point is she's so high profile that monitoring her would actually be fairly simple. And these are the reasons why 23 countries have taken back their ISIS brides.
We're so wishy-washy, we'd give her a new ID.
She could cover herself anyway.
We'd give her a new ID, we'd never know where she is.
And a lot of people who want her back here, I mean, I keep on hearing this argument, she was groomed. She was not groomed. The girls in Rochdale and Manchester were groomed. They were groomed. She was not. She made a conscious decision to go thousands of miles to join a death cult. And she had seen on television at the time, as we all had, that ISIS beheaded people. We saw them burning men alive in cages. Yeah. We saw them burying people alive. We saw it on film. So do not say she didn't know what she was going to do.
I wouldn't say that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that she is our responsibility.
No, she's not.
Well, she
when
is.
You do
because
when
she's
you go
British.
and join a cult that wants to destroy the West, that's your aim. And when you've been involved in what she was involved in there, you do not have the right to come back.
But then she ought to be tried. If she committed crimes, she should be tried.
How could she? Tell me how they're going to dig up evidence from.
Well, you just accuse her of loads of things with pictures of Kalashnikovs on her.
People who were there saw it.
Yeah,
people are there reporting.
There's the evidence.
She committed the crimes in Syria, be tried in Syria.
Well,
yes.
No, I mean, she's British and she should be...
she committed the crimes in Syria. Why do we want her?
She hasn't got a British passport, but she is British. I mean, we can't take that away from her. What we've done is we've taken her passport away so she can't possibly come back.
You just know there'll be a horde of lawyers ready to defend her.
Well,
of course they're free.
On legal aid. And legal aid will be pouring in for her as well. We've just got time to talk about one other issue.
Oh, yes.
How many times have you told me you're going to divorce your husband, Carol?
Probably on a weekly basis.
Weekly basis, yes. The long-suffering Nino.
Carol's being very honest today.
Because what this report's saying that some people only stay together because it's the financial hit if they get divorced.
Well, that's not why we stay together.
No, I know.
But we actually do love each other.
Yeah.
But I can see when you get into your 50s and you've been married for 25 years or whatever, you know, the everyday things become irritating that are not irritating for the first 15. I mean, you know, how long have you been married? Not very long.
12 years.
And you irritate your partner all the time. I've seen it. You irritate him constantly.
In 3 years' time. 15-year mark.
Yes. But I think this is a sad indictment. If this is true, it's very sad that you stay with somebody because of a house. But I can see how it happens because they're saying it's one of the most stressful things in the world to break up a marriage. But, you know, if you're splitting the cost of a house and you've got a big mortgage, you're not going to have much left to buy something for yourself as a single person.
And what the survey says is that they're worried about the cost of a divorce being 30,000. I mean, from my experience, there's certainly not 30,000 quid. It costs an awful lot more than that.
Yes, because you keep intruding on private grief. You were divorced some years ago.
Yeah, a long time ago, yeah. And it's expensive.
And was money a factor in... Might it have happened sooner but if it wasn't for the money side of it?
No, it wasn't a factor, no.
Right.
I was a lot younger, so there was a whole different thing. I'm not sure if I was in my 50s. I might be thinking about the house, the pension,
You've got a bit more to your name.
Yeah, exactly.
But the grass isn't always greener, so perhaps this is a good thing that people, you know. Yeah, think about it for a bit more longer.
I think it's true. As when you're married for 30 years, a lot of people expect it to be like it was when you were first married. That's what they're remembering.
When you got married?
I don't actually.
She does not know when she got married.
I know the date.
She does
I know
not
the date, but if somebody said to me how many years, I don't really.
She doesn't know.
We celebrate our anniversary, which was December the 23rd, but you know, I don't know how many years.
It's a nice date.
They don't know what year. But if you ask Nino, her husband, how long have you been married, he always says, too bloody long.
Does not start at all.
Get him on the panel.
Made that up.
Right, should we get the news update with
Sam Francis? We will, yeah. Very good.
OK, all right.
Very good morning to you. Just after 11:30. Well, voters are heading to the polls across Britain today in a major set of elections for councils, mayors, the Scottish Parliament and the Welsh Senedd. In England, more than 5,000 council seats are being contested, along with 6 directly elected mayors. In Scotland and Wales, meanwhile, voters are deciding who will govern their countries, with all seats in their national parliaments being contested. Polls are set to close at 10 o'clock tonight, with results expected to come in from the early hours of tomorrow morning and continue into the weekend. Fresh concerns over hantavirus after 2 suspected cases have been reported in Singapore. Both people are isolating while doctors carry out tests there. It comes as the UK's health security agency says the risk to the British public remains very low. Donald Trump has claimed the war in Iran will be over quickly. Reports suggest the White House believes it could be close to agreeing a 14-point plan. Iran, though, has not yet responded to the latest American proposals. That ongoing war could leave lasting damage to the economy here at home and public finances, according to new research today. Estimates suggest a prolonged conflict could cost the Treasury up to £8 billion a year. A serving Metropolitan Police officer and 4 other former officers are being investigated over the handling of sexual abuse reports involving Mohammed Al-Fayed. The police watchdog is looking at potential misconduct. The former owner of Harrods died in 2023. And GCSE and A-level exam season is getting underway. AS level and A-level papers begin from Monday, with major subjects including biology and English among the first. The main exam period runs until the 23rd of June. Those are the latest headlines for now. Full roundup with the Midday News.
Take the GB News family with you on any device. As long as you have an internet connection, tune into GB News anywhere on the planet or beyond.
Right, up next, the Princess of Wales is meeting with children undergoing brain research. And we're also going to be looking ahead to her first overseas engagement since a cancer diagnosis. It's going to be in Italy next week, Andrew.
What a nice trip for Cameron Walker to be going on with the Princess of Wales.
Of course, yes. How many trips has he had recently?
Quite a few. He said he's very much looking for it. It's great to see her back in action because he's a much-loved part of the royal family, in my view. This is Britain's Newsroom on GB News.
Hello, welcome to your latest weather update from the Met Office here on GB News. A mixture of cloud and sunny intervals through the day today. There are a few showers around, but many places won't see those and stay dry. And for most of us, still on the cool side, but it is a little warmer than yesterday. High pressure is being edged away by this area of low pressure. This weather front will provide some outbreaks of rain into the Western Isles of Scotland, increasing breeze here. Ahead of that, a few showers in and around Belfast, up through the central belt of Scotland. Sprinkling of showers for Wales, perhaps southwest England, 1 or 2 for East Anglia in the southeast. But many places won't see those showers. It'll stay dry. As I said, a mixture of cloud and sunny spells. Feeling quite a bit warmer than yesterday in eastern parts of England. Temperatures, though, still generally a touch below average for the time of year, 14, 15, maybe 16 or 17 across parts of the south with some sunshine. There should be some good spells of sunshine along the south coast. 1 or 2 showers, maybe in North Devon, extending into south and then up to North Wales. As I said, the odd shower across the east of Northern Ireland keeping going, and 1 or 2 through the central belt. And it's a bit more in the way of wet weather coming into the west coast of Scotland as that weather front moves in later in the day, with the breeze picking up a little bit here. As we go through the night, we'll see that showery rain continuing to spread more widely across Scotland and Northern Ireland. Showers over England and Wales, still 1 or 2 heavy ones through this evening over Northern England in particular, and a few more then creep up over the Channel into southwestern parts of England through the end of the night. Much of eastern England becomes dry with lengthy clear spells, and it's here where we'll see those temperatures dipping down. A pocket of frost is just about possible over southeast England in some rural spots, but most places starting Friday about 6 to 9 Celsius. Again, it's a messy mixture tomorrow of cloud, a few showers around, perhaps a few more tomorrow across the south initially, spreading into the Midlands. A drier day in northwest Scotland, although again quite breezy here and quite cool here as well, with temperatures only 10 or 11, but a little warmer in the sunny spells further south.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates,
5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday Five.
You got me good there.
Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah. Uncensored.
Very, very racy tonight on the unpredictable.
What does she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace to Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
As soon as it hits 11 and the headlines come in,
The late edition brings you the breaking news from all the front pages.
because the news is going to happen.
So get a head start today.
Patrick Christie's tonight, late edition.
Alex Armstrong tonight, late edition. From 11 o'clock every night.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
It is 11:38. It's Britain's News on GB News with Andrew Pearce and the fabulous, it just says on the screen, Miriam Cates. Deliberate test of the day. It's the fabulous Emily Carver.
You remember my name, Andrew?
I do.
Oh, lovely.
And we're going to talk about the even more fabulous, if that's possible,
thanks.
Princess of Wales.
I guess she is a bit more fabulous than me, yeah.
Yeah. Now, she's a long-term advocate for early years care. She's been meeting with children undergoing brain development research. How sad is that for these kids?
Yeah, very sad. Look how young they are. It comes after Catherine confirmed she will undertake her first solo trip since cancer treatment as she heads to Italy next week.
Yeah, and that's a really important trip for her. Because it's the first one since cancer. So we're going to talk to the royal author and journalist Alex Larman. Alex, morning.
Morning, Andrew.
Good to talk to you again. This is significant and it's a milestone for her, an important one, after her fight back from cancer.
Yes, I mean, but on the one hand, it's a relatively low-key trip. It's only to Northern Italy. It's not that far. But I think symbolically, this has an absolutely huge cachet to it because it's a Princess of Wales going overseas, doing another solo engagement. And it's very much her saying, I'm back. I'm ready to take on all the responsibilities of the role again. And I think that I speak for all of your viewers when I say we wish her all the best and we hope that it's a great success because she really has been missed. And I think that what you see is her natural empathy and the way that she's very good at communicating with people. She's been a real secret weapon for the royal family over the last few years. And I also feel that given there's been so much drama with the royal family, there's been so much controversy and difficulty, having her back actually is helping to restore a bit of sanity again, which is really nice to see.
Yes, and she's particularly good with children. When you see her out and about, the children seem to flock to her, and she clearly has good communication skills with most people. Do we know exactly what she's going to be doing in Northern Italy then?
I think the details are slightly sketchy at the moment because I think that a lot of it hasn't. But she's going to be visiting the city of Reggio Emilia, and it's something about the Royal Foundation Centre for Early Childhood. And the press release said it's going to be part of a high-level fact-finding mission to explore leading international approaches to support young children. So it's not going to be anything taxing, but obviously it's interesting that she's chosen something involving children as her first commitment, because obviously, as you say, she's very good with children. She has a very natural empathy with them. And I think that yes, I mean, this is to an extent, she's been brought back in gently as something that is relatively local. I mean, you can get to Italy in a couple of hours, but it's obviously something which is very much within her comfort zone. And you can see that if this is the success we would hope and expect it's going to be, that there'll be more, probably longer, probably higher profile trips this year, next year as well.
Well, she's an amazing ambassador for Britain, UK PLC and for the royal family, isn't she, Alex?
Oh, she absolutely is. And I think the one thing that's always been very interesting is that you look at the last 15 years and I mean, it seems extraordinary now, but when she married William, there were people saying, oh, she's a commoner, she's not coming from the kind of background that she should be coming from. Well, look at Meghan is all I'll say to that. And the fact that she has this natural empathy, a natural grace and a natural charm, but I think that the royal family has done very, very well. And she is somebody who, has battled her own ill health and dealt with that with remarkable grace and dignity as well. So I think most people will be saying that it's good to have her back and that something like this is just a very good way of reintroducing her to the wider world.
So all the indicators really are suggesting that she's pretty much well.
Yeah.
Back to full health.
Yeah, she's back to full health. Unlike the King, Alex, who we know is still being treated for cancer.
Yes, I mean, of course, the funny thing with the King is we saw him on the state visit, we saw him in fine fettle, especially addressing Congress. And it is easy to forget that he is suffering from cancer, and obviously it's never been said what kind of cancer, but the fact that, you know, it's over 2 years on from diagnosis now, he's still having treatment, he's still not out of the woods. I mean, she has been given the all clear, which obviously is a wonderful thing for her and her family, but her father-in-law has not. So yeah, we are watching Charles and watching what happens there, because obviously, I mean, it is extraordinary though. I mean, he has this ethic in terms of going and working. I mean, he's a man in his late 70s and he's doing these international trips and so forth. I mean, that's one thing you can say about Charles and Kate. They both work very hard, and so people who talk about the royal family as being a bunch of sponging parasites should actually be shown their work ethic and said, well, exactly. How do you answer this then?
And I was relieved that the state visit to the States, Alex, wasn't overshadowed by the endless psychodrama of Meghan and Harry. But you may have noticed this morning that they've released a photograph of Harry with baby Archie to mark his 7th birthday, not exactly living up to the private lifestyle they apparently craved when they walked out of Britain.
No, but I think by this point, we know about Harry and Meghan. We know that they are hypocrites, and we know that they are going to do things to monetize their private lives. And I think that we have to factor it in. We have to say that ultimately both of them want to make money, and the means of making money is going to be via social media and by this sort of quasi-influencer status. And there is no dignity attached to it. That's the crucial thing to remember. If you look at Kate, you look at the King, there is great dignity. You look at Harry and Meghan, you just think, well, there isn't any, is there?
Yes, the humanitarian stuff seems to have taken a back seat for Meghan, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's more about jam and
business
honey.
and Netflix these days, or not so much Netflix.
Exactly. Yeah, she was going to be a great... She was going to do much for the emancipation of females, wasn't she?
Gosh, the podcast Archetypes.
Yeah,
remember that?
I do.
You sat through that, didn't you, for journalistic purposes?
Alex, always good to talk to you, and we may be talking to you again when the Princess of Wales is wowing Italy next week, which I'm sure she will.
Yeah, she'll probably have to wear some Italian designers, won't she?
Good to talk to you. Oh, I'm sure she will. I mean, her outfits will be brilliantly chosen, because she's a clothes horse, isn't she?
She is, yes. She's very slender, one might say. Still ahead, though, a German man has won £850 in a payout after he was unable to secure a sun lounger while on holiday in Greece. So he managed to get his payout.
Yeah, and guess who nicked all the sun loungers? The Germans, of course. But first, here's the elusive holiday sun for you.
You're looking happy.
Well, the forecast looks good.
So you've sorted the travel insurance then?
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News travel destinations forecast.
Sunny skies for Sicily on Friday. We're going to see some wet and windy weather heading through Madeira, and that rain will arrive in the Algarve on Friday night. Some wet weather also heading its way across mainland Greece, but most of the Greek islands dry and sunny on Friday. Sunny spells, as I said, for Sicily and Sardinia. Small chance of 1 or 2 showers here, and showery rain spreading into Spain and Portugal. You can see the swirl here, an area of low pressure bringing wet and windy weather to Madeira. That'll spread across Spain and Portugal for Saturday.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News travel destinations forecast.
I'm Michelle Dewberry. This is Jubes & Co with you.
Hello everyone, Patrick Christie is here to GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Access the stories that matter to you. Take the GB News family with you on any device, and as long as you have an internet connection. Tune in to GB News anywhere on the planet or beyond. GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
This is GB News, Britain's news channel.
Morris dancing, a centuries-old English tradition passed down through the generations. Decked in bells, ribbons and creative costumes, Morris dancers leap and twirl to the beat. During the May Bank holiday, the folk dancing is performed in towns and villages across the country. At Poole Village Hall in West Yorkshire, the Great Yorkshire Morris team are practising their steps.
It's part of the thread of our culture. When I started in 1976, there were only about 3 Morris teams in York, the whole of Yorkshire. And we went to a village, people the general reaction then was, oh, look at these funny men who were there. We want to keep the traditions alive. Like, we enjoy the practice as much as dancing out. We do collect money and we've got to pay our expenses for the practice hall, but any of the surplus money goes to charities.
Once rooted in ancient fertility rites, Morris dancing now brings people together in music, movement and community. There are more than 12,500 Morris dancers around Britain in single-sex and mixed sides, all keeping the genre going.
The sort of gear that I'm wearing for is, apart from the Yorkshire flat cap, this is fairly traditional Cotswold Morris gear. Great Yorkshire Morris do Cotswold. We also do Border Morris, which is from the borders between Wales and England. We also do Longsword, which is a Yorkshire tradition.
A living cultural practice with deep historical ties and regional diversity, Morris dancing is here to stay. Anna Riley, GB News, Poole and Wharfdale.
GB News, the People's Channel.
I've been in Westminster for a long time, but I know that though power may be here, its effect on people's lives is across the whole of the country. We may be where rules are made, but it's where they're implemented that matters. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for forthright and frank discussion on where Britain has come from, where it's going, and where it will end up. That's State of the Nation, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
.49, we're going to wrap up the show with an update from the Middle East. Israel has attacked Beirut for the first time since it agreed to a ceasefire with the Lebanese armed group Hezbollah.
And as that happened overnight, President Trump told journalists there's a very good chance of the Iran war ending, but I think we might have heard that before. We're going to talk now to our very own national reporter, Charlie Peters. Charlie, what's happening with Israel and the Lebanon?
Well, they've launched a strike yesterday on a senior commander within Hezbollah, the Radwan forces. They say killing him yesterday, but they've actually just issued a statement in the last hour or so, an urgent warning to residents in Lebanon, in the south of the country. Their Arabic spokesperson issuing this statement, saying that in the light of terrorist Hezbollah breaching the ceasefire agreement, the IDF is compelled to act against it forcefully. So it's highly likely we're going to see some more strikes from the IDF today on Hezbollah targets. They've said that they have urged people in southern Lebanon to stay away from the various villages and towns that they've referred to by distance no less than 1,000 metres and to open areas. Now, there's been some remarkable footage coming out of Lebanon over the last month or so before the ceasefire agreement came into effect, with people being warned directly that they were about to be targeted on roads or in busy areas, getting out of their cars and going into open areas because they know that if they stay where they are, others might die around them. And so getting people into open areas is what the IDF want them to do, get them away from any wider targeting that could take place. We know, of course, that many of the Iran-backed terror organisations rely on human shields to conduct their activity. And the IDF has accused Hezbollah of transferring weapons via medical facilities, including ambulances, and they've made that accusation several times now, although not always providing evidence for those claims. But on the backdrop to this, and this latest strikes, of course, is talk that a ceasefire and a final end to this war may be coming into play in the next 48 hours. That's the timeline for the Iranian response to Washington's more recent demands. And that seems like it's moving along at quite an effective pace. And I think we're seeing now a bit of a divergence between the ambitions and goals of the various parties here. Israel obviously want Iran in a much weaker state, perhaps neutered and regime changed entirely, whereas, of course, the United States and Iran, I think they both realise that this war is becoming extremely costly in all sorts of ways, and they'd like it to end rather more soon than that. So we could see that change. The blockade that the United States Navy has maintained on the Gulf of Oman, that ring of steel, as Donald Trump referred to it yesterday, that's become a forceful blockade. Yesterday, an FA-18 Super Hornet fighter jet shooting at the rudder of an oil tanker heading towards Iran and leaving it rudderless and stuck in that sense as well. So stepping up their actions in that blockade. But I think there's a good chance we could see both parties walking away from this soon and a return to the freedom of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz. The French want that as well. The President Emmanuel Macron sending an aircraft carrier through the Red Sea at the moment to help part of this British and French maritime effort to return to the previous regime, as Macron put it, of freedom of navigation.
That's a nice way to round up the show today. A positive view on perhaps how things might resolve themselves.
And I'll be back with you tomorrow because it's a big day tomorrow. We'll be analysing all the results from the local government elections. Don't forget, if you vote, take some photo ID.
Yes.
Up next, Good Afternoon Britain with Tom and Dawn.
That's right, and it's election day, so we're looking forward to speaking nothing about it, because we're not allowed, thanks to the regulations that govern this funny little country.
But if you've had your puppies at polling stations, we'd like to see some pictures. That'd be lovely.
Also, hantavirus. Should we be worried?
And we're also talking about what 3 in 5 Britons are terrified of, and we're also, at some point, talking about getting naked. All that after the weather.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Morning, welcome to your latest weather update from the Met Office here on GB News. Today, a bit of a cool start out there for many. Generally a fine day with quite a bit of cloud, but some sunny spells. There are a few showers around, particularly across parts of Scotland. 1 or 2 this morning in southwest Scotland, the odd one here and there, but I say most places starting dry. I've had a bit of a chilly start where we've had clear skies through the night, but that does mean some spells of sunshine coming through and a mix of sun and cloud really through the day for most. A bit more showery rain crossing through central, then eastern Scotland with some more rain coming into the northwest later on. The odd shower for Northern Ireland. It's a bit warmer than yesterday, particularly across the eastern side of England. You notice here temperatures a few degrees higher.